like BITCHUTE.
What's the status, 3?
I'm good, just making the world a better place, that's all.
Between earth and God, I'm a byproduct. I come from a family of hustlers. That byproduct, money is the root of all evil. But I'm still trying to find a large profit. It's a mirage, they live in a facade. I was smoking thigh and had a talk with God. She told me why she named me John. I author scriptures to shed light on the darker picture. If you my dog, I'm barking with you. Be feeling the star wisdom. My homie Chuck told me it was giants on earth before me. And chemtrails, we inhale. That's another story. Mercury is used to check temperature. The sun is the spirit sinking. The moon is the portal. Assuming you important. Central term. Mars is wars as the M turn. And change words. I'm in the game for change service. I'm about to disassemble a bomb. I ain't nervous.
Drake, Dragon, Draco, Draconian, land of the giants, ice wall, Patagonian, lexicon, word wizardry, speaking Babylonian, highways of the vortex, shooting out the fallopian, low vibrating light, king of the material, mark of the beast, nanotech, scanning serial, the mental dead, carried by 6 to your burial, the lights is out. No resurrection, broken power grid, no interconnection. The Grim Reaper, I'm so collecting. 6-shot, hollow tip, rubber grip, Smith & Wesson. Bitch, repent when God is in your presence. Your aura is weak, uproot your essence. I walk through darkness, highly illuminated. Eyes blazing with fire, with blades double serrated. Hunting down clowns I double hated. Hit so hard your jaw is elongated. Shatter egos like they was glass plated. This was long overdue, past dated. One shot deal, it is as is and no recreation. All praises due to my parents for making. Always appreciate and never abated. One.
The A is the M like the A is the E. Where earlier I said, hey, you know how somebody say, hey.
There's a devil and an angel in my head.
The school system costs children, kids as baby sheep. You better wake the fuck up or forever sleep. You don't need bars to be in prison, just think. They take cash out of your hand for a digital chip. So if you don't do as you're told, your money will go poof, like it didn't exist. We are almost the Walking Dead without the body bag zipped. This is community revolution in progress, but I'm no crip. As much energy is used to tear down and divide, you can use that energy to uplift and show there's no limit when you reach for the sky. Spells, spells, spells that I am casting. Words I speak are a gift of wisdom unwrapping. A work of art, I am a master craftsman. Painting pictures with the stroke of a pen. Spilling ink on paper.
There's a devil and an angel in my head. When I was fighting the war, the devil was huge and the angel was tiny. When I started to repent, the angel grew and the devil became very small. Small, but he's a stubborn bastard.
With thoughts from within, some say it's the end, something new will begin. Look into the gates of the soul. I am him, I am God. Decisions, decisions, I create and destroy. Broke out this mental prison. Solve a problem and have 10 more like farmers' prescriptions. Life is too short, there's a headstone with your name inscripted. I turn my back to religion, took a seat on a throne. I am the light that torch enemies to skull and bones. I communicate with the other side, open portals, no cell phones. You are the power, why second guess, never think twice. I went from was to was, now I'm Charles Wise. So high, high as a zeppelin, dazed and confused. I'm God incarnated, no El Hakim or Drew. Jangalanga. Whatever the fuck that means. I gotta find that new damn, I gotta look for this website Jay Heighton gave me to go to. I'm gonna go there right now. Fuck this Google garbage. Google garbage. Fuck you, Google. Hey, Google. Go fuck yourself. Let's see. I have a feeling it's gonna be no different than any other search engine, but we'll see. I could be wrong. I know I wrote this shit down somewhere in my 180,000 notes. Yeah. Anyone seen Sir Drop? I need to talk to him about United Masters. Oh, here it is. Yandex. Let's check it out. Yandex. Hopefully it's not in Russian. Gotta upload the app, I guess. Yeah. It says the Patriot Act is. Yeah. Said between line between bullshit and real. When I see the news and a lot of stuff, I think it's just all bullshit to me. All of it. Every man, there's 4 people in here and nobody says a word. Don't tell me that's 4 bushwhackers. Bushwankers. Wanking off in the bushes. Put that on the short. Bushwanker. One left. That's funny. Yeah, I know. I can't help it. I'm half cyborg. Sorry. Wow. Uniting and strengthening America by providing appropriate tools required to intercept and obstruct terrorism. USA Patriot Act of 2001. What a crock a load of shit that is. Uniting and strengthening. Yeah, okay. That's funny. Because it did none of that. Fucking ripped our country apart. To deter, an act to deter. That's all it is an act. This is all an act right here that I'm about to read. Because the truth is, this is designed to go to war against us. To deter and punish terrorist acts in the United States. Okay, well, they should use this on themselves and around the world. Really? Since when is it our business to police the world? To enhance law enforcement and investigatory. They're gay tools. They're investigatory tools. They're dildos and fucking and for other purposes. Ah, boy. Let's see. Be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives that don't represent us correctly of the divided States of America. Uniting and strengthening America by providing appropriate. They already said that. Shut the fuck up. This act may be cited as they're saying it again. Dude, who wrote this? George Bush Jr.? Or was it? Wait, they said that 3 times. That could have been Mike Jones, actually, who wrote this. Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones. 6 more times. Who? Happy belated birthday, fools and tools, or happy late birthday. Yeah, that thunderstorm was wicked, man. I had to record it. It was like it was like the the symbol for Aquarius was over Connecticut and just pouring water out of the sky. It was literally pouring like I've never seen. These created, what do I want to call them? Weather modifications. I've never seen it rain like it has in the last 8 years. I mean, it's like literally pouring, like someone dumping water. Your birthday's August 4th, 1984. Imagine that. All right, Title 1. Enhancing domestic security against terrorism. Section 101, Counter-Terrorism Fund. Section 102, Sense of Congress condemning discrimination against Arab and Muslim Americans. Really? The same discrimination they created? Increase funding for the Technical Support Center at the Federal Bureau of Investigations. The FBI? That's a good name for them, FBI, because they always got an eye on everything. Request for military assistance to enforce prohibition in certain emergencies. Expansion of National Electronic Crime Task Force. Presidential Authority. Title II, Enhanced Surveillance Procedures. Section 201, Authority to intercept wire, oral, and electronic communication relating to terrorism. I mean, I gotta give it to them. They created the problem, they delivered the solution, profited off of both ends, while most people fell for the illusion. Yeah. This act right here fucked us hard. Privacy's been gone. These people listen in when you're taking a shit. Some guy, I seen a video this morning of a guy's microwave. He said every time, I forgot what he did, every time he did something, I think he changed the fuse in it or something, I don't know. But it would talk to him and say things, you know, like when you press the buttons on the keypad there, it would say something. And I'm thinking, yeah, because you got your fridge, your stove, your microwave, your fucking TV, your phone, everything hooked up to the internet. Everything's Bluetooth and this and that. They could listen in, fucking, now toilets are probably hooked up. All right, sense of Congress can. Oh, I already said that. Request for. I already said that. Oh. Authority to intercept communications relating to computer fraud and abuse of offenses. All I see is a bunch of excuses to surveillance authority under the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act of 1978. So let's back to 1978. Let's see where this began. Come on, man, don't play with me. Visa. Holy shit. So hold on. Title 3 of the Omnibus Crime Control and Safe Streets Act of 1968. So there's one before this. The Wiretap Act. Interesting. The FISA legislation was the result of congressional investigations into federal surveillance activities conducted in the name of national security. It's for your safety, buddy. Yeah. I'm gonna call the police. I'm a bootlicker. Through FISA. Sounds like a soccer Or that's what's the soccer one? It's not Feli, but FISA. Anyway, close to FEMA. FEMA. Congress sought to provide judicial and congressional oversight of foreign intelligence surveillance activities while maintaining the secrecy necessary to effectively monitor national security threats. FISA was initially enacted in 1978. What a pooper. It sets out procedures for physical and electronic surveillance and collection of foreign intelligence information. Interesting. So, all they got to say is, you're a foreigner, we have a right to look through all your shit. Or, you're a citizen, and we think you're a terrorist. So we will be looking through all your emails, all your phone calls, all of everything in your phone. We're going to be listening in, all that good stuff. FISA addressed only electronic surveillance, but has been significantly amended to address the use of pen registers and trap and trace devices, physical searches, and business records. FISA also established the United States Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, FISC, a special U.S. federal court that holds non-public sessions, interesting, to consider issuing search warrants under FISA. Proceeding before the FISC are ex parte, meaning the government is the only party present. Jesus Christ. Here we go. Some more bullshit. All right. Never fails. Every time I go live, someone's got a call. My uncle works for the Utah University TAPS. Shit. I think back then, even though they could have tapped your phone back in the days, I personally rather have a landline, because a landline, they had to actually at least come somewhere near, your house and tap. You could see them working outside on the lines and shit. And it was much harder for them. Now it's just so easy for them. Now I personally think most of the investigations they have, people are so dumb that they do all the investigating for them. They literally tell on themselves. So, yeah. Ah, Jay Heighton, what's up? Oh, what am I doing? So, hold on. Let me do this. Let's see if this helps. I wonder if this still applies today. That's what I'm looking for. The Wiretap Act. I'm pretty sure it'll still apply today to cell phones. Oh, yep. See, they updated it. They got the Patriot Sunset Extension Act of 2011. This is the shit people don't look into, man. Most people. They pass this shit right under our fucking noses, man. They'll tell people on like some article that's like barely people look at, so they could say, "We told you." But I'm pretty sure they always update them on this. Um, let's see this Patriot Sunsets Extension Act. One 511. Interesting. 5 plus 1 is 6. Flip that 6 around and you get what? 911. I made that up. Anyway. Let's see. Sunset Extension. So short title. This act may be cited as whatever. This is it? Come on, man. Don't play with me. Oh, what the fuck? Man, they gotta stop with this shit. I know they're not talking about us. Now I'm starting to kind of understand what Dominic be talking about. Uniting and strengthening America. They ain't talking about us because we ain't united for nothing. Now, maybe these lodges are uniting and they're brothers. Hey, brother. What's up, brother? Can I hold your nutsack today? That's our secret handshake. Tickle my balls. Yeah, brother. My name's Brother. Fuck you. To reform the authorities of the federal government. This is the act. It's all an act. Public Law 114-23, 114th Congress, whatever that means. I gotta check that out. The 114th Congress. Is that the 114th Congressional Party? To vote on this act, maybe? Man, what's good, McCoy? Anyone wants to come up, you're more than welcome to hit the link. But I'm gonna keep checking these so-called laws out because I'm looking into this surveillance shit. A lot of people say that, Jay Height, and that they have to tell us what they're doing. Like even when I start listening to some Christians or any religion, some of these, like this guy was talking about. I'm gonna go way off track with law and stuff, but this guy was talking about Jesus, right? And this list to go to heaven, right? If you're not on this list, the guy was good, man. He was pulling me in, and I said, man, this guy's good. His magic is good, man, because I'm realizing how he's pulling me in, and I'm like, man, the power of the words, man. But that has nothing to do with him having to tell us. But a lot of religious people say that they have to tell us what they're doing. Maybe because they do tell us what they're doing in code or blatantly right in our face. They'll just say it. What if they like telling us? Because it's like throwing it in our face. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they know they'll tell us, and what are we going to do about it? Probably nothing. I'm trying to figure out. People always say a lot of these laws are null and void or somebody said that you can't add on to the Constitution or take away. I have yet to find that law or amendment that states that. But I do know if we go to war and you have all these guns stacked up, the military can just come and take them. As a matter of fact, I think they could do that now because we are considered on the under that war thing, the war on terror, the war on drugs, the war on crime, the war on poverty, the war over here, the war over there. anyone see these videos of the sun, what the sun's doing to people's vegetables? Some plants are turning away from the sun. I guess it's so hot in Arizona. It's 120 degrees, and it was literally, the guy turned his tomatoes, and in the part facing the east was fucking faded, and it was literally just taking the color right out of it. That fake ass, whatever type of light is up there, it ain't our sun. I think it's the sun with something in front of it. That's my opinion. To enact, to reform. See, they had to make sure they put an act, right? It's all an act. This is just shit they write down and put, and people go along with it. It's all an act, a front. Um, I bet you they don't even need to sign this shit. All they got to do is write it down and put it on the internet, and people will go along with it. To reform the authorities, the authority of the federal government, to require the production of certain business records, conduct electronic surveillance, use of pen registers, and trap and trace devices. Damn. And use of other forms of information gathering for foreign intelligence, counterterrorism, and criminal purposes, and for other purposes. They had to put the other purposes in there, right? HR 2048, whatever that means. Yeah. They put this uniting and strengthening America by fulfilling rights and ensuring effective discipline over Monitoring Act of 2015. Now, who the fuck okayed this shit? Did this go through the people? No, of course not. And when I say people, I mean us. Citizens, whatever fucking label. Now, interesting. What's that thing called with Trump? Project 2025? I don't even know what that's about. If we are going to rescue the country from the grip of the radical left, we need both a governing agenda, a governing agenda, a governing agenda, another fucking agenda, and the right people in place. Say it again, a governing agenda, ready to carry this agenda, they love that word, out on a day one of the next conservative administration. The project will build on 4 pillars and pave the way for an effective conservative. That's all Masonic talk, man. We'll build on 4 pillars, pave the way. Uh, the biggest conspiracy theory is this world, but I don't see anyone calling it that. Think about it. When you're pulling a prank, you sit down, watch, and enjoy. That is what they are doing. They are laughing at us. They know what we are dumb. They know that we are dumbasses that name everything a conspiracy theory. Well, I agree they're laughing at us for sure. I mean, especially after this whole incident with Trump. And most people will be in denial, you know, when his heir 2 weeks later is completely healed with not a scar, not a scab in sight. And they do that on purpose. It's kind of like throwing it in our face. And yeah, I think they definitely just laugh at us hard. They've thrown so much propaganda into people's minds. It's been normalized and desensitized to the point, like I've said before, where a lot of warrior spirits have been doused. That flame is out. People are literally walking zombies and don't even realize it. They have no feelings. They don't care. They just go along with everything. They go in any direction they're pointed and do whatever's whatever. If this was the 90s, like I always say, like an old man, but I'm not, I don't think this shit would have flied back then. They had to really take control. The schools. I'm glad I got out of school when I did, man. I got to see the beginning of them turning schools into like prisons for real, for real. It had just started when I got out of high school. I think in 99, 2000. They started putting metal detectors, cops, locking the doors. You had to sign. Parents had to sign in. All types of shit, man. They wouldn't even give the child. Let's say a parent comes to pick the child up and they're not on the pickup list. They won't give that child to their parent or something like that. So when the child's in the school, the child becomes the school's property. Like, there's a lot of shit I don't agree with, man. And but what does my opinion matter anyway? You know, it's like a ping pong game with politics, man, right? The left blames the right blames the left. Um, and behind the scenes, they're all one. They must, you know, they're like, they must sit down with each other and be like, but who are you? We don't know you. Like Kamala Harris. She said she's black. That's a lie. 2, she's not from America. There's so much proof. Who are these people? And how the fuck are they getting in? And all the dumb people will say, you're racist, man. What do you know? Right? And they don't even, most people don't even look shit up. They'll just go by what the TV tells them. Because they're already saying, people are coming out and saying Kamala is an American. She wasn't born here. Just like they did with Obama. Yeah, because they weren't. They weren't born here. How the fuck are they presidents? I want to find out when this shit started, man. Who's the first president that was probably all of them. If we really look deeply, we probably find at least 80% of these presidents weren't born here. I want to find out something. Hold on, let me check this out. When did the United States join the United Nations?
Here is information from UN Research Guides, the United Nations.
Thank you, bitch. Does that say the UN, United States of America? Huh. We put the UN in United States. Oh, God. Wow. Look at this building in the background. The United Nations was established by the Charter of the United Nations and Statute of the International Court of Justice. The charter was signed on the 26th of June, 1945, by the representatives of 50 countries. Poland signed. There was 51 founding members and 45. The founding members of the United Nations are the countries that were invited to participate in. So maybe by the signing of this is when the New World Order started, right? The one world government, by them signing into this United Nations, that's who runs the world. What? Yo, stop playing. Oh my god. Okay, dumbfound. Thing wants to play games with me. Does this shit. You motherfucker. Looks like China was the first one to sign. France. Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. Interesting. See the balance in that? Socialist Republic. United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. The Divided States of America. 26th of June, 1945. That's when America sold her soul.
Yeah, to switch back over to my phone. It's their religion is right. Who wants to end gun violence? Oh, okay, hold on. Did you see Bro Sanchez last night? He was talking about this rapper that the Democrats are yeah, the dude from the Three Amigos or the Migos or whatever the fuck that cheese nugget group is. Yeah, what's his name? Quavo? Yeah. Just look at Trump. He used Kid Rock. So that's what I mean. Like that's why I named the video the other day of the live stream, the theater or no. That's why the upload I did when I showed different clips of President Ford and then Obama saying he'll be in the basement is what they did with. It's funny he said that and then Biden gets in and they just use him as a front man. And basically these globalists are doing that because they're just like doing it on purpose because they're just loving the fact our country is falling apart and the people are falling apart. They just love it, man. They get off on that shit, and I'm wrong for speaking up. Like, to some it's a waste of energy. To me, sometimes it's a waste of energy, but maybe it's my ego that won't let me just stop because I fucking can't stand them people. I was gonna almost said hate. Yeah, I fucking hate them. Yeah, it's a fucking, and I even said in one of my videos or live streams the other day, why isn't there a so-called real black person? They got to get Obama, who is all sorts of different things, and then they got Kamala, who's not even black. She's Indian from India. Why isn't there a real black person running? It's like a slap in the so-called black people's face, man. For real. Why isn't there ever Spanish people running for president? I'll say it, we could use the race card. But then we could just throw the race card away and say, what does it fucking matter anyway? Because like I said, it don't matter your race, it don't matter your religion, it don't matter if you're rich, poor. Where else was I going with this? It just none of those labels matter because the government isn't prejudiced when it comes to psychological warfare or poisoning through the food, the air, the water. There's no prejudice in this at all. None of them titles matter. Shit. I found this video. I had to upload it. Because everyone's saying that this dude gave Trump $45 million a month.
Mr. Musk, are you still going to donate to Trump? Are you still donating $45 million?
He says otherwise.
I'm sorry?
At no point did I say that I was donating $45 million a month to Trump. That was a fiction made up by the Wall Street Journal.
Yo, why does it sound like that, man? The shit I'm talking
Mr.
about.
Musk, are you still going to donate to Trump? Are you still donating $45 million? I'm sorry?
At no point did I say that I was donating $45 million a month to Trump. That was a fiction made up by the Wall Street Journal.
Mr. Musk, are you still going to donate to Trump? Are you still donating $45?
Yo, you can't even hear him, man. It wasn't like that when I heard the video. That's weird, man. He said that was made up by Wall Street Journal or something like that. That they made that up. Who knows? Yeah, like Kamala Harris supposedly made, I think it was 108 million bucks. These fucking people are making all that money, man. And like I said yesterday, you know, people are hypocritical. I'm a hypocrite too sometimes, you know, but like I said, man, people will donate $50 to a man that has millions, probably trillions. And if it ain't in dollars, it's in property and a lot of other material things. But these fucking people don't need money. And yet, you know, I would rather donate or give the $50 to someone that's starving than to a fucking clown in a suit. That's just me. But what the fuck do I know? Let me see. No, are you fucking kidding me, StreamYard? You won't upload my videos now. An error has occurred. You are an error, StreamYard. You're just a fucking error. Check this shit out.
It's like something out of Ocean's 11. A crew of thieves looks to snag a major score, with each team member playing a specific role as part of a larger plan. In this case, the target in question was over $2 million of high-end vintage baseball cards stolen in early July at one of the largest card shows in North America. A table at the Dallas Card Show caught the attention of a group of thieves who used a coordinated distraction to cover up their brazen theft. And while there was no Brad Pitt or George Clooney, this team of thieves proved they were no slouch.
It's quite a heist. There are 4 what appear to be men who are distracting the 3 employees of this table, and they had left a Zion case, what's like a suitcase, under a table in what should be a safe place. And a lot of people are saying, well, you gotta have security. Nobody expects 3 men distracting your employees so one can sneak in. And the one who snuck in and took the case had been stacking chairs for over an hour to make it look like he was an employee there. And then these 3 other men come in and distract the 3 employees, keep the 3 employees facing away from the man in the middle. Once the guy had the Zion case, he zipped out the back, and these other 3 men left in different directions too.
And while the daring heist had everyone talking, questions quickly began to surface about how it could have happened. Could it have been an inside job, or perhaps a way to collect insurance on these high-end cards?
Ash, the dealer, is extremely highly regarded in the industry. It's one of the best big-time vintage dealers in the industry.
But now these cards are in the hands of thieves. The question becomes, how do they plan to fence these very unique items? A list of all the stolen cards has circulated throughout the hobby, and the most expensive cards stolen were some very iconic and recognizable Mickey Mantle cards that would be hard to mistake.
The only way these thieves can be successful is if they crack these slabs, because these slabs, the way they are, graded by PSA or SGC, or maybe some Beckett in there too, are all going to be labeled as stolen. And anybody's going to be looking for these, especially 1952 Topps Mickey Mantles. There's been talk of them cracking these out of the slab and having them without the tracker, without the cert number from PSA or SGC.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's kind of good people get their shit graded. I mean, even though it probably isn't that hard to crack one of the, I never had a graded card in my hands. I kind of don't believe a third party. You know, if you're gonna sell something and you can't decide on a price, you need a third party to tell you. Like, I'm just not. I think it's just a money grab. All that third party bullshit to grade your card. I mean, you got your ups and downs with everything. In a way, if I want to look at it in a positive light, it's graded and it's probably easier to make a decision on a price. But if it ain't graded, so yeah, it's got its good and bad. Instead of going back and forth with someone over a price, it's set, it's graded. I was looking at a graded fucking Jaren Duran. No, I was looking at a graded Jason Tatum rookie card. I just wanted a base rookie card for my personal collection. They wanted like 40, 50 bucks. I'm like, you got to be kidding me for an 8. I didn't even want a 10. I wanted an 8. Some of these prices are fucking insane. It's a base. A base. You know what a base is, Dom, right? Like a base rookie where they're the most produced card. It's like the set type base. There's so many of them fucking things. What's up, Maggot, Danny Skylar, Candy? Who else came in? Make sure I didn't miss anyone. What's up, Dan?
I had myself muted there for a second, so I apologize. How far do you want to go with this when it comes to a third party?
All the way, man. Home run.
Okay. So when we were younger, we used to collect cards. They had Beckett. Let's go to Beckett. They used to, and that was probably orchestrated and controlled, and they can buy cards and then sell cards. This is kind of like the stock market, the coin industry.
Yeah, I remember Beckett and stuff. Yep, I used to buy them.
Okay. So now they've graded these things. Let's say in this case, cards. Why would you grade it? Well, the third party that's doing the grading. What about the fourth and fifth party? The insurance companies now say, oh, so now you're grading these things. You're insurable these things. So when you see people heisting cards, what people do see is a grade and something in the top loader. Those could be all forged. And then most with the average citizens, they're going to see that little yellow or red icon and they'll have a price of $1,400, $500. If somebody's stealing from themselves, especially when the cards aren't even the real cards and the real grading, now you're involving insurance. This is how people can launder money now. You know, because we're talking about a card, doesn't matter what, if it's upper deck or whatever, and we're putting value to it. If you understand that, then you understand the governments. It's more than just party involved. Most people get caught up in, well, I belong to a country, and in that country, there's people that govern over us. Those are the two parties, the buyers and sellers. But then there's the third party, fourth party. In this case, the United Nations plays a major role in it. I heard you say earlier, I was making coffee, so I was hearing you when you were talking about agendas. Well, a government is not run, or a system is not run based on theories, let alone facts. You know, because then what we'll do is we'll theorize about it, we'll stumble along it, then we'll write about it, then it'll be factual. It has to be driven by an agenda. I mean, it's like a business. You have to have a business plan. You always have to have something behind it. Now, unfortunately, we're living in an age where a lot of information is being conveyed openly and really quickly, rapidly, where before a person would have to siphon through all that information. All the political leaders are having to thumb through themselves. Most of them have to be some sort of lawyer, international lawyer. And now people are saying, but I don't like the outcome. I said, of course you did. Of course you're not going to like the outcome. They wouldn't have liked it 100 years ago. So, and I think heard you also talking about it earlier. In the earlier days, things were more simpler. Maybe I'm misquoting that. But at the same time, they were driving their agenda. These aren't agendas driven overnight. These are agendas driven over decades and many parts. They actually put a lot of value in thinking, we're doing this for our forefathers. It's like,
yeah, they planned. Sorry, I just want to say they planned decades ahead. I know that much. Yeah.
It'll be no different. I'm planting a seed today for an apple tree. If I'm self-absorbed, then I'm just going to go buy an apple tree, or I'm going to go buy apples. Where if I'm actually considering future generations, whether it's my kids, your kids, or somebody else, I'm going to tend to it. It might take 20 or 30 years before that apple truly gives out a lot of apples on a steady basis. Not just to me, not just to you, to the plant kingdom, to the tree itself when it drops. So this is how it works. It's always been that way. It's just the masses are finally being introduced to what the few, which could have been a lot, used to understand and still do understand. You know, but our hatreds to it, our accepting it, doesn't serve. Even to accept it doesn't serve. To observe it, interesting. I might tolerate it, I might allow it a little bit, but to truly going on and then embodying hate or acceptance, how does that serve? Whether it's you, Charles, I'm just using that as an example, because you are speaking on behalf of quite a few people. That's just how they feel about this. And there's other people that are going to try to reason this. Oh, okay, so let me understand this. The government here in America or Canada are just, they're not really what they say it is. Oh, okay. It'll be like me and you playing a bunch of professional basketball players and we got our ass kicked. Okay, so are we going to bitch and complain, or we're going to figure out what are they doing that we can get better at, and then at least be competition for them? And then maybe once in a while, maybe we'll even win a couple of games. Outside of that, what we're doing is not just us. Go ahead, Charles.
I was going to say, I mean, not agree, but that's why I look into these acts or laws, because I don't want to say fight back, but like you said, more like, I don't want to. How did you just put it? You said anyway.
No, put in the words that you know, Charles. Put in the words that you understand, Charles. Because there's nothing you're going to say that's right or wrong. You're just going to express it, and hopefully you're going to reflect on it. I would probably say, if I was going to look at things that maybe I'll even initially call them laws, if I'm going to use discernment, the first thing that might turn around and say, Dom, how do you know they're really laws? Especially if I understand nature. So I said, okay, so there's one hoodwink, a Mason term. And then on top of that, I would say, okay, so now let's look at it as policies. I would have to apply discernment. How does it serve me to know the Indian laws or policies, let alone America's policy. Now, somebody said, well, Domi, but you don't live in America. I said, but this is a human race still. I already caught on to the divide and conquer game. Having different countries, a divide and conquer game. This is about all of us. This is not about, I live in Canada, I live in Toronto, Canada, or Charles lives in Connecticut. It's not about that. And if it is, then they've already won because they've already got you dividing yourself. You know, there's people in the world that are poor. Okay, let's understand. Let's try to make sense of that. Or let's idealize unless you're living it. And there's people out there that are greedy. If you realize they both interact with each other, then you understand, oh, okay, so the few are going to become rich, the masses are going to become poor. Now, are we talking about physical poorment? Are we talking about mental poorment? Because there's people out there that are well off, but they're mentally disturbed. And then there's people that are poor and they're happy, all can be. They're content. They enjoy where they're at. I live in a family that's a community. Oh, okay. We have to find our own little niche, but because we're being bombarded, and this hasn't started just with the internet, with the TV, and then we started using our imagination with the radio frequency, we're starting to hear other stories in another part of the world that doesn't really affect us in the immediately. It might affect us down the road. And then complaining about how the all-star team, we'll call them the elitists, are playing their game, it would be better served for us to understand, okay, what is their game? Are they Satanists? Are they the kind of people that spend an enormous amount of energy? You use a prime example there with the siphoning of cards. It wasn't one person trying to be clever to another person. It was a whole bunch of guys getting together, working as a team to steal. They probably saw the niche and the opportunity. So that guy's not really truly protecting his cards. And that could even be the person that's actually selling the cards is in on it. Anyway, hey,
that's a good point. What's up, True Zone? I didn't look at it like that. Like, I forget about insurance, and that would be a good way to get free money, to act like someone robbed you, and not only you still have your cards, but you're gonna get paid. I didn't even think of that.
I'll give you an example. I could be a person that's siphoned a whole bunch of money from another country, and I got millions of dollars, whether through drugs or taking it from the citizens of another nation, and now I need to somehow make that money clean. How about I back a guy up that's selling a whole bunch of sports cards? I'll give you $1 million, even though that's small chump change for these guys. $1 million. And all of a sudden, we'll get one of our guys to steal it from you. And then we'll get the insurance because one of my buddies is in insurance. Now, I've actually made my money legit. This is what they did with the housing market. This is what they've been doing with the casinos throughout the world. Why, you honestly think they're building casinos for the citizens? This is how they siphon their games. They're above what some people might call the laws. This is how this realm works. If you don't like it, then the question would be better served, why did I come here? Because this realm already has a layout.
They live like that movie, John Wick.
You got to pay to play, man, this round.
So
true. You know, John Wick. Remember in John Wick how they have that society and they got hitmen and little coins, their own money, and they're allowed, you know, they go all of these places around the world where they have like dens where they could get whatever they need because they're in the brotherhood. That explains perfectly in that movie how I think their underground networks work.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, they talk about a pyramid, and the ones that are in the middle of the pyramid are doing their job. You know, they're helping. Go ahead.
Somebody said not every met any forefather, so they probably would burn the Constitution if they looked at America today. I'm talking about like Thomas Jefferson and all them. These are all colonists. The Constitution ain't nothing but a contract. This is like the same thing today. Like they still do like what Don was just saying. Everything they do is contractual. So when they get you to sign your name on the dotted line, that makes it unnegotiable. That makes it these are pirates. They do business, do admiralty when they speak legalese terms. So that Constitution is nothing but a contract. That's all it is. It gives most of the masses the thought of having freedom, saying my constitutional rights, but it's just a contract. Because if you got to put something on paper, that makes it a fallacy in itself. It's a document. That's how they did us. They killed us on paper. We got killed on paper. See what I'm saying? And the forefathers, they really for women. All those, like Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, these were all trans. They were all inverts. That's why they called the real transatlantic slave trade was them. Transatlantic slave, it was them.
Crazy.
I don't get off track.
I've heard that theory before. I wonder, you know. Let's act like we trip and pull their pants down and be like, "Holy fuck, you're a woman." No, I wouldn't doubt it.
That's what I'm telling you about it. Every president has been transgender, man. Every single last president, most of them have been transgender, and their wife. There's never been a first lady in that Oval Office. They all been men. Every last one of them. Look.
I know, like when I look at like Reagan's wife and even George Bush, and senior and junior. I mean, man, one of their wives looked like Aleister Crowley. What's up, OTW? Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. I was feeling what y'all was saying, like what Don was saying about the casinos and stuff, man. Because I used to gamble a lot, bro. And I felt like somebody put a gun to my head, or an invisible gun to my head, and took everything I had. It was real bad for me at one point in time, but man, you know, you could just feel the demonic energy when you walk into a casino, man. It's like they know who to give money to and they know who not to give money to.
Yeah. Check this shit out with the casinos. I remember when I hit 21. I think it was Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. So I went to gamble because I had like $15 that night, and all my friends were going to the casino, like 4 cars deep. So I went, and I was down to my last 50 cents. And you know, they give you these cards that you're supposed to put in the machine that keeps track, and you could win like a free room or points to get food and all this stuff. So me, you know, I was telling my friends, damn, they want you to put this card in there. They're tracking, you know, what you spend, where you are, and all this stuff. It's all computerized, and I was playing the slots because I didn't have a lot of money. I was down to my last 50 cents. My friend was like, "Put in your last 2 quarters," and I put in 1 quarter, and the fucking I think I hit 3 or 4 sevens with the diamond, and the light was going bing 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 bing. I won like $380. Now they probably knew I was down because we were talking about if I won this and that, so they're probably, let's let this guy win. He'll just win a little 380 and put the money right back. Man, I took that shit and bounced. Psych.
Yeah, that's what I did. Me and my dad was in there gambling, man. We got down to the last $5, man. We hit for 800. I'm out this motherfucker. I'm gone. I bounced. I ain't giving nothing back. But they know in long term you're gonna come give it back. Not you per se, bro. I'm saying like majority of the masses. I've been in the casino. I've seen old women in there, man, that their husband done passed away, they widows, and they be in there gambling thousands of dollars, man. I walked by a machine. She was on 2 machines gambling. She had $2,000 in one machine, $1,000 in another machine. She's in there throwing the money away.
I think peace agnostic principles. I think casinos, they're mostly run by the mafia. And I think they're used to wash money. A lot of them. A lot of businesses are used to wash money. There's many ways you can do it. I've learned by watching and asking questions with people that own stores. There's so many ways to wash your money, to do it legally, to where, you know, you're not hot and you won't get caught. There's so many avenues you could take. And if you're a heavy drug dealer, your best bet is to open a business with an LLC and just wash your money.
Right, because they do it on a mass scale, man. But as soon as we see how hypocritical they are, man, they more hypocritical than a dying hippopotamus. So they can do all this shit, man. But as soon as we go do it, we're criminals and they throw us under the jail. But they do it, man. They get away scot-free. They send their kids to college. They living the best of life. But as soon as we want to go make them type of moves, we get labeled criminals, and they drag us through their court system.
That's
They
why
take
the system was made to do that. You know, I think.
Guys, can I explain the many steps that they're ahead of you and they've anchored you already?
Yeah.
right.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's
you're walking into a casino. How did you get there? Ponder it. Okay, now you're there. You're basically gambling away. Okay, it's slot machines or whatever. If they understand energy, they realize you're forming habits. So now, as you're losing all your money, that's a given in their world. Now they say, listen, how do we get future customers? Let some of them win. So now they're jonesing. So they're going to tell their friends, you know, I went to the casino, I lost a shitload of money, but you're not observing everybody else now. That's the self-absorbed person. They basically got you triangulated. So now once you're in there and they say, well, yeah, no problem. Let them win a couple of hands. Why? Because we want to form habits. We want to fuck around with their feelings. Let's giggle with them. You know, that's the way to the casino. You don't go to the casino, but you study it. You observe it for what it is, not being the participant, because once you're the participant, they've already got you. Now, whether or not they've actually do face recognition, all that, because they're playing a different game. They're playing with their friends and all the other people, the average citizens. You're just there to fill. You're the fillers. Now, you might win sometimes. No different when people watch professional pokers. They're all under, most of the professionals are under the take. So whether you're a professional poker, a professional euchre player, whatever, they're just playing with money. They already know that. And when I say they, I'm not even talking about the people that are the 5%ers and the clubbers and all that. They're even being fucked around with their feelings. This is why when you start becoming the observer of those things, you realize, oh, they understand energy. They're seeing your colors. They're realizing, yeah, I'm doing chemical release. I don't care if it's sex. Go ahead.
That's why they got certain neon. You're right. That's why they got certain neon lights inside of the casinos. There's they release some type of dopamine. They study the human brain, right? So they know what colors to put inside the casino. Just like with McDonald's, the neon light is yellow and red. It releases it triggers some type of dopamine inside of your membranes. And they know this because they study. Like you said, they 2 steps ahead of us, so they study us. They know what makes us tick. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's groups, you know, like to me, I'm not going to compete one-on-one with somebody, maybe in chess, but if I'm playing somebody that has 10 people behind them, I'm already at a disadvantage. It's kind of like being a mastermind. They're counting on that most people are going to try to solve the problem one-on-one, opposed to they're counting on you're not going to actually work as a group. This is why when they make you sign documents, they're still thinking that they're the vessel. Why? Because they still play around with the written work. Fuck, we already got them. You know, no different finding out. And that's one of their just outs. Let's make sure all our presidents are transgender. Why? Because we're counting on them that actually not use discernments on what the fuck they're reading. Once you start understanding those things, don't worry about who Jesus is. Don't worry about who the president is. What are they actually putting out? That is when you apply discernment. To find out that it's staged, you should already know that. You should already know you're the actor within this realm of called the illusion. And outside that, okay, so who's trying to better me? Oh, he's going to try to kill me this time. Oh, that's got to be entertainment. Why? Because I'm not those things, but I can entertain those things. Hence the difference. It's perception, wordplay. But when people start thinking it's us against them, who's the them and who's the us? Because last time I remember, the enemy's us, the masses, going around fucking bitching and complaining about other situations that most of us haven't even put a lot of effort to understand. Understand gives it away, by the way. Anyway, so go ahead, guys.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I was going to ask you a question, Dom. I see you got the Earth Infinity map on your picture there, man.
It's all possibility.
Like with the little jurisdiction that we inside of, then outside of that ice wall, it's 2 suns outside of that, and outside of that wall, I don't believe it's an ice wall there, though, man. I think that's cap.
Could be.
I think it's a utopia out there, man. I don't know, man. I don't think it's an ice wall, man. I think they lying.
Who knows? I would like to find out, though. I think maybe part of it is an ice. Like from the old maps that I've looked at, you know, whether those are real or not. Someone say enemy. There was desert there. Now, depending on, you know, these people could use weapons. Me personally, I think this whole place was warm, and there wasn't no such thing as a winter and all this stuff.
Yeah, this is a tropical planet. Planet Kai, Planet Tiamat, Planet Mother Earth, whatever you want to call it. It's a feminine planet, and this planet's always been a tropical planet. It's always been warm. The reptilian brought the Sub-Zero technology here and made it get cold here because that's what they like. They dwell in the cold. We don't like the cold. I'm a tropical being. That's why they call us Nubians, so-called melanated or so-called black people. Nubians, new being. We tropical people. This has always been because you got. That goes back to what I was saying the other day on the panel, bro. This used to be a all so-called black planet. We tropical beings. This always been a tropical planet. They brought that shit here with them. It never got cold here.
Yeah, and I think the giant trees played a part too in keeping it warm. Because trees gather heat, and if there was titanic trees everywhere, it's like jungles. When you got all them big trees in the jungle and stuff, that traps a lot of heat. That's why it's so warm in the jungle. And the sun don't even get through them trees, and it's still super hot there.
Right, because it's always been a tropical planet, man. It's always been warm and hot here. It never got. That's what I'm saying. They brought that shit here with them. That's it's not natural. It's inorganic. Cold weather. That's inorganic.
Sun's going on too with the sun. Now I don't have all the answers and I don't know, but I've never seen where plants are turning their back to the sun because it's white light and it's cooking the tomatoes facing the east. The side of the tomato facing the east is losing its color and it's drying up. This sun this year, it's terrible. Sun is up, and it's 120 degrees where it's just so hot.
The sun used to be yellow. Now it's more, it's white. That's because
the gases maybe.
It's plasma energy. Like it's so within, so without. So your soul is a sun. That's why they say the Jesus Christ character, the Son in man. Your light body is the same resemblance as that damn sun. It's a spiritual sun. Our real sun is outside of the firmament dome, because y'all already know we inside of a firmament dome, but our real sun is outside of the firmament dome. That sun in the sky, that's a simulator sun. Just like the moon's an artificial construct too. That's not our real moon. We ain't seen our real moon in millions of years. Our ancestors called the moon the original sin because they knew it was an artificial construct.
Shit, we all might be in a holographic construct, or more or less, because low vibrating light materializes.
Yeah,
that's moon. Why Satan rules the material world, king of the material.
Right. That's why they call it. That's why they call it the Saturn Moon Matrix. The planet Saturn is what Saturnian, Satan. The moon projects its 3D matrix to what we see right here. The moon ain't it's nothing but a projector. They projecting this reality down here from the moon. Saturn Moon Matrix.
They say Saturn, like an illusion.
Yeah, man.
Row your boat. A lot of rappers use these riddles, or not riddles. What do I want to call it? Melodies. People write raps to row your boat gently down the stream. Like, you could write a rhyme to that, and believe it or not, if you write a rhyme to that melody, it'll fit to beats perfectly.
Right. Yeah, man. Music is love, man. Listen to what you just said, bro. They told us in that damn riddles and rhyme, life is but a dream. This shit ain't nothing but a dream here. Ha! They say life is but this shit ain't nothing but a dream, man. Once you wake up from this shit, man, you're like, damn. That shit
what if somebody was like, let's find out? Shot herself.
That song was about Kundalini. Yeah. Kundalini arising.
It's good to see. That's funny. in the chat. Where'd he go, man? McCoy said, "So and say enemy." Yeah, McCoy, we're on your favorite topic, man, and my favorite topic too. But now I get it when Dom was trying to explain "we the people" part, and Dom isn't even. People give Dom shit because he's Canadian, but you know what? Dom knows more about how America's ran than most Americans.
Right. That's because the I don't even want to call this shit education. The indoctrination system here, man. The indoctrination for me, me being indigenous to the land was the complete opposite. Like it was the complete opposite of what they told us. They told us we from somewhere else. When I got to school, when we got old enough, we was adolescents. They said, "Oh yeah, y'all from Africa, man. Y'all come off of boats. Y'all from over there. Y'all from Western Africa. We got y'all niggas off of boats. We brought y'all over here, made y'all niggas house niggas. We beat y'all every day. Oh yeah, y'all was just some run down slaves." That's what I'm saying. The system here sucks, man.
When I started to learn about the Out of Africa lie or theory, I said, man, I said either so-called black leaders are purposely misinforming their so-called people, because these people in these organizations, they think, well, if we tell them, it'll be less for us and more for everyone. So a lot of these secrets, that's what they're talking about, the secret, because they know who they are, but they don't want no one else to know who they are. I started to think, man, that's the case. If they pulled that shit, right? You know, what else are they lying about? You know, it's like when I found out Germany is fairly new. The country had another name, and then I started to think, they keep changing the names of these countries, man. It'd be hard as hell to trace shit back unless you know every name of the country. You know, they keep changing. So this whole realm is filled with labels and just, it's like it reminds me of that video game.
When they abolished so-called slavery in 1840, it had nothing to do with us indigenous people. It was them. They didn't get free until 1840.
I heard the Constitution has nothing to do with this. This guy had mentioned it. What's his name, man? I watch his channel. He said he was in jail teaching so-called black people that the Constitution did not apply to them.
No, it don't. It never applied. Anything they ever done never applied to us, because we the original inhabitants of this land. So everything they did was about keeping us, like making us lost at home. How many people look just like me? We lost at home. My boy is free to pay attention. Y'all go up to his channel. He said we lost at home. We in exile on our own fucking land. So the Constitution is nothing but a con. Just like the archons, they are cons. They wrote the Constitution. That's a con. They got con grossmen.
So
a fucking conversation. Everything's a fucking con, man.
How can you? I was thinking, like, even if y'all wanted to claim the land, right? What if the chief of the tribe, like the Shinnecock said, the chief sold the land? So now, can you even claim the land if it's sold by a representative of the tribe or clan, right?
Right.
So,
but we knew when they came here, they came over here as missionaries. We knew. They said this is why they say this land is your land, this land is my land. We knew nobody could own the land. They came here. It was like, how the fuck you gonna own the land?
That shit pisses me off, man. These motherfuckers ruin it for all the so-called white people, man. There's always some fucking ding dongs that gotta ruin it for everyone.
They're not the same. They're not the same as y'all, man. They not the same as y'all. No, these are Canaanites, man. These are Khazarians. These are all type of different Jesuits, man. These are demons, man. They
Snoop
came.
Dogg be Canaanite. That's why he be like the Snoop Dogg shit. Yeah, that's why you see him transform into a dog and shit. I think that's what that means. Canaanites, canine, or
Yeah,
they just sniff a lot of cocaine. That's why they're Canaanites.
yeah, that's because they fell with leprosy, man. They fell with leprosy, and the dogs would lick their wounds. That's why they call them canine. Yeah, you're right. When they got off them ships, man, they brought disease here. We never had diseases until they got here. They brought disease. They brought death here.
What if that movie Avatar is 100% factual?
It is.
And we came from outer lands, because I just know, man. My inner self tells me that there's so much more than what we're being told. There's so much more land being hidden.
Yeah, that's true. The movie Avatar is a documentary on how they invaded us, man. 'Cause we used to be taller. We used to be green and purple. We wasn't always dark.
Wow.
Look, in the wintertime, what color do the leaves turn? Brown, right?
True.
I'm the same color as those leaves when they drop. When a leaf turn brown, that means it's dropping. It's dropped in frequencies. It's dropped in vibrations. So it turns brown. So
the
that's
chlorophyll left.
Right. We used to be green and purple, but we fell in vibrations. The planet fell in vibrations and frequencies, and we turned dark complected and brown. But we used to be green and purple, just like those trees out there. That's what they showed you in that movie Avatar. We used to be blue, green, purple, different colors. But they cut our spiritual trees down. Our spiritual trees connected us to the cosmos. That's what they showed you in the movie Avatar too, when they came through with those big machines cutting down those trees and shit.
They were showing you the hair. The hair is an antenna. And that movie bugged out how the white people were going into a machine because this realm wasn't for them.
No, because they wasn't organic to the planet.
I think, I have many theories myself. Either they always say they show Tarzan was a white dude swinging from tree to tree. These big trees that used to be here, we either A, came from in the trees, or we could have came from underground, or we could have came from outer lands, or everything is as it is. I don't know.
We came from the ether. This is why in that movie Avatar, when they would connect their dreadlocks to the planet. You see when they connect their dreads to them trees?
Yeah. And the whale. Remember part 2? They were connecting with the whale, and remember they were killing the whales to extract the third eye of the whale? That was fucked up, man.
Because if you want with the planet, if you are organic to the planet, you can vibe with the planet on that level. That's why I said they were inorganic. They wasn't organic to the land or to the planet in that matter. So everything they did was from an artificial standpoint.
She said my family and children were born with purple butts. Are you trolling?
Damn. I seen that before, man.
I wish I had the equipment to make beats, Jay Huyton. I'm even when I play my music, man, I don't even like it. It's not the lyrics. I don't like the way it sounds, man. I don't like my voice. I don't like the interference I hear. It's not clear. I complain about a lot of shit, man. When I do stuff, I want to perfect it. I want it to sound fucking amazing, but I can only work with what I have. And I want a good microphone to where I don't gotta speak loud into the mic. It changes my voice. I'd be like kind of screaming because I just want to speak normal into the mic. My voice is lower and normal.
How many songs? You got a lot of songs out?
Not a lot. Maybe 5 or 6. I don't even call them songs because there's no chorus or nothing to them really. But I'm working on some other stuff. I did about 4 or 5 tracks with Sir Drop. And I did 1 or 2 by myself. Well, one of them I did by myself, but Sir Drop put it together. And then I did a couple with Drop. But I'm gonna clear some of them up. I'm gonna go back into the app, the studio, and try to clear some of these sounds up in my voice. And I write every day, so I think I'm gonna work on something today. Get another 3-minute track done by myself. I've been trying to get a hold of Drop to do 1 or 2 more, but man, Sir Drop, he puts music out every day. Like, he doesn't play when it comes to music. He's like really dedicated to his craft. Much respect to Sir Drop, man. He resurrected my inner hunger of how I used to, I was gonna lay down the pen and pad forever, and truthfully, he kind of resurrected. I had to pull the pen and pad back out.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. Because a lot, like it's the most talented people, man. They not on the world stage. They don't make, you know how they put these puppet rappers and artists on, man. The most talented people, man. They don't have big record deals, man. They guys like you, man. You know, real artists and with real music, real talent, man.
Drop's got talent, and I ain't like being no fanboy, whatever cornballs try to say, or a cheerleader. Drop's got skills, and I like listening to his wordplay. I'm very picky at who I listen to. They gotta have skills, man, lyrical. I can't listen to this newer shit nowadays. There's no wordplay, really. There's no skills, man. They're not even saying nothing that's worth putting in my ears.
Man, it's
No
new
message.
man. I can't understand. I don't know what the hell they even say. I said, man, what the fuck did he saying? They all sound alike, man. They all sound just alike. No originality, man. Whack ass rappers.
No, I haven't heard it yet. OTW. What's up, Faceplant? What are you shooting yourself in the eyes? Okay. The tattoo. What? The tattoo up. Not even. Hold on. Disappeared on me. The tattoo up. Not even know the symbols that trap their souls. I'm lost. It's a diss track on Flow State. Does Flow State even rhyme? Yeah, I think some of these songs, Jay Heighton, like there's certain tracks that I could listen to now, and I still feel the transformation of in the molecular structure of my body. Like whether it's a positive note or a negative. Like I could listen to certain songs and it makes me want to fucking hurt people. Literally. The lyrics and the tones of the beat, man, will put you in a mind state of negativity. Because all they're talking about is shooting people, and it transforms you, the molecular structure.
Hey Charles, now ask yourself this, bro. When you listen to a rock and roll song or a country song, do you hear them talking about kill a nigga, shoot a nigga? I'm gonna kill his mama house. I'm gonna shoot his mama house up. I'm gonna kill a nigga, shoot, murder. It's literally a song by this rapper named Mac out of New Orleans. It's called Murder, Kill. And then he keeps chanting the song over and over and over again in the chorus. Now I'm thinking to myself, why would they? But I understand why they come up with a song like that, because the music industry works in tandem with the prison industrial complex.
Well, murder, kill. Oh, that's I know what you're talking about. Oh, that's
You signed with Master P, man.
There's another song, East Coast, that used that too. Like even Wu-Tang had songs that will fucking put you in that mind state, like it's wartime and shit.
Right, you become hypnotized, and then they came out with trap music. Trap music was the trappers, man. They came out with the dope boy music, selling bricks, sell quarters, sell half, sell splits, trap at your mama house. That then they, so I'm saying first it was in the 80s, it was more of a conscious rap. I like conscious rap. Like in the 80s, it was conscious. In the 90s, early 90s, you remember, bro, it became more gangster rap with NWA. Then they came out with pop, and then the early 2000s, drug dealer music.
People used to tell me, "Are you stupid, Chuck? Why you listening to Ice Cube? He don't even like white people." And I'd be like, "Bro, he ain't talking about me. He's talking about the government, and racist white people." So that counts me out. And plus, I like his music, the message. People say a lot of stupid shit, and they don't even know what they're talking about. He's racist. Well, yeah, against racist people.
Yeah, because you gotta think when they came out with that song "Fuck the Police," people resonated with that song. Like, man, all creeds and nationalities. Like, man, fuck, because it's not a police. They are enemy, man. You know, motherfuckers are getting pulled over and harassed. More white people get shot by the cops than Nijis, or so-called blacks. Well, y'all get shot by the cops. But it gets swept under the rug. Nobody. It doesn't make mainstream headline, but that's for a reason.
Right when I was gonna let OTW up, that song's in my head now. That Serial Killer by Method Man and Redman. Dun 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 dun. Anyway, I fucked it up.
I'm like,
OTW. OTW ain't even give me a second to let you up. Shit. What's up, Faceplant? Yeah, I'm gonna work on a track today. Oh, let me check. All right, cool. Let me copy this link. Fucking, I want to do a track with Hurricane JW. I like his music, man. He's got lyrical skills, and I wanted to do a track with a few other people, but Third Drop's the only one that kept his word, and he did more than he said he was gonna do. So what's up, Lucid?
What up, dog? Who's on?
It was good, man. What's up?
What's up, bro? What's up, John? In chat.
Damn.
Yeah, just thinking about you guys talking about, music. It's all frequency. Man. It's all there, to either heighten or lower your vibration, man. So why not listen to music?
That's how they pull your strings, man, with the sound. Sound is used in sound, light, noise, that's why words are powerful. Like I said, if you can't, like, say somebody don't know English and you say "fuck you, bitch," they're not gonna know what you're saying, so it won't bother them. But once you can, what's the word I'm looking for? Define the sound. That's when it'll really change your molecular structure.
Yeah. So once the intention is recognized, and then that's where the I don't know, the frequency is recognized, by the body and soul. Yes.
Right. All music is destruction though, because I was at work one day when I did work full time. They had country music playing, and the artist was talking about going to the bar, getting drunk. Thinking to myself, they promoting that fucking poison. It says all that shit's poison.
When they play country music backwards, you get everything back. Because country music's always talking about, they took my dog, I lost this and I lost that, and the joke is if you play country music backwards, they'll get everything back. Anyway.
Yeah, man.
I like
I try to listen to conscious rap, man. When I do listen to it, man, because I know the music I grew up listening to was destruction, and it was programming me to go out and commit crime. Because a lot of the youth, they go out and they live a street life based on what the artists say. And I was telling my son that one day. My son was like, "Man, this rapper's a gangster. He been to jail, to prison." I said, "Son, that rapper's an actor, man." I said, they living out in fucking Cancun. Or they living out in the sticks somewhere, man." I said, they not in the streets. I said, they don't go to jail. They not shooting nobody. They not. I said, they want you to go commit those crimes so they can feed that prison industrial complex.
They
don't
shooting, but nobody got hit. They shooting guns in their dreams.
Right. I said, these are all studio gangsters. I said, this is Malibu's most wanted. I said, they not gangsters. I was telling my son that because he I was like, nah, man.
So what do you think the term silence be upon you, peace be upon you, or silence is golden? What is that trying to imply? Peace be upon you, silence be upon you. That's what it's actually meaning. So when you speak, you're actually doing frequencies. 440 and 432 anchors you hear. When you're actually in silence, you're going to hear what nature? Nature's in harmony. So who gave us this language to anchor us, let alone the written work? That's why it's called silence is gold. And what is gold? Conduit. So like a lot of elements. So when we start speaking, we're actually, because we have liquids in our body, you're anchoring yourself here. Frequency, this is where memory is stored. That's why you eat in silence. But unfortunately, most people are not aware of that, so they get caught up in all the division. Country music, rap music, baroque music, all the different frequencies. What is 440? 440, what is the energy of 4? Time. What's the other one? Time, 0, all encompassing. What's 430? Of course, it adds up to number 8. What's number 8? The material number. What's 432? Time, trinity, and duality. Add up to number 9. What's number 9? Number 9 is the spiritual meeting, the material. There's energy behind everything. That's why when you're in silence, you're downloading information through prana. But unfortunately, most of us have been so conditioned that we're actually struggling from within the well. And then we think we're doing some meaningful speech, or in Sanskrit, it's a healing language, the frequency. You play singing bowls. What's the frequency coming from it? Are you playing with your heart chakra, your throat chakra, your upper chakras?
I was saying, you said, what does, right when I was speaking, it just booted me out. I don't even think anyone heard anything I said. When you said, what is peace be upon you? I said, to me, that means, the quietness, may peace be upon you, is like, it allows you to level up. There's no noise. It's silent. There's no interference. No, it's like pure bliss. Like I said, you can level up, balance out, look within yourself. There's like no interference. You're allowed to basically, what word am I looking for? You can
you get that solitude, man.
You get into that. Go ahead, guys.
Somebody's feedbacking.
Oh shit, it's probably me, man.
Somebody's YouTube's on.
Yeah, I'm gonna fix it right now. All right.
Look,
at work.
I use this tuner. It's like a chromatic tuner by Boss. It's like installed on my phone, right? And if you can see right there, I tune my guitar to 432 hertz.
So what about other numbers, Patrick? Like
Yeah, that's
620?
what Jay Height was just telling me, to put my beats at 432. But what people don't realize, when you're in the studio, you're gonna have to go into every sound and turn every sound to 432. It's not just, you can't just like put 432 on the track. You got to go into every sound, everything. You got to change it all. It takes hours. Like, people think you could just put the track to 432. No, I learned this from my actual producer on YouTube. He produced for Mobb Deep and all these big names. He said, you got to go into every little sound when you're making these beats and change it. It's not,
It's every
So-
instrument has to be tuned to that frequency, and then you record. It's pretty
Hey,
much.
Charles, are you talking about Alchemist?
No.
He produced tracks for
Damn, what's the guy's name? He produced, I think, a lot in Hegelian dialectic. It's one of my favorite albums by a Prodigy, man.
Right,
That was
right.
one of my favorite MCs. Prodigy,
Oh, yeah,
Sean
yeah.
Price.
Yeah, the Hegelian dialect. That's my favorite album, man. That spiritual warfare, one of my favorite songs. What else is it? Spiritual
He
warfare. What
didn't
else on that album? That's a
want to
fire
put
album. I listen to
that
that every day, man.
He said he didn't want to turn his fans off. I'm like, man, I've been waiting for that shit. Turn the fans off. Shit. But yeah.
So when you have 440 and 432, you're having either or. The attunement of 432 is an anchoring, same with 440, opposed to you want to start doing instruments at 621. The reason why I say 621, because there's different energy for each one. So it adds up to number 9, spiritual medium and material. But unfortunately, most people don't realize you're caught up in the what's called polarity. And as long as they have everybody tuning to 432, 440, you're just giving either or, which is fine.
But
and of course,
isn't that like number 9? Isn't that the number of man, like the number of the beast? Because when you add up 666, numerology wise, it's 9. So
Nine
it's
is,
like,
nine is the number for completion. They demonize this. They say 666 beats. You got 6 neutrons, 6 protons, 6 electrons. That's what that's a 9 6 upside down is 9. 9. Your mom carries you for 9 months. It's a number for completion.
Well,
It's not, that's not the 9. 10 don't exist. 11 don't exist. 12 don't exist. It's 9.
right, exactly. It starts at 1 and it goes to 9. There's no other numbers. No other number actually really exists. It's just like from 1 to 9. That's it.
Right. That's why I call myself a 9 ether being, because my hair coils up. My hair coils up to the number 9.
Again, those are all gauges. No different when you start playing with 45 degrees, 180 degrees, 360. It's always number 9 involved. Now, when you use 666 in that case, Patrick, you're using accrements of 3. That's because you're in the 3-dimensional. Start playing with accrements of 4, like 4 ones. This is when people see 1, 1, 1, and 4s. You're seeing the energy called time. Again, this is about energy, but most people will gauge it. This is how we get conditioned. They think time is a watch and a clock. I said, no, that's not time. And those, things, up in the, those things up in the skies are luminaries. They're signs. And those
time is a wheel. What I've perceived is time's like a wheel. It's turning.
Well, to break it down a little bit more, when you're seeing those luminaries up there, Patrick, those are showing what's going to manifest in centuries to come here. So the time is from here to there and back. That's what's called time. So I share something, I yell something, and then there's an echo going down a canyon. That is what people would call time, light, memory, whatever they want to use. Because again, we're using the English language. You really have to wrap it.
So
go ahead.
To break it down is, in other words, we are actually just echoes.
Yes.
We're actually just an echo of an echo of an echo. Like an example of a drop going in the pond, like a pond that's really still, and you see all the waves going out, and they're expanding outwards. I believe I think that's a really good representation of what this reality is. Because if I'm like connecting to what you're saying right now, that's what it would really imply, is that we would be an echo of our actual existence.
Yeah, it's the illusion. What we are, we're receivers of information, and we just forget that there's people of old that were seers, mystics, shamans, and they would educate and be brought with gifts and say, okay, there's a reason why everything's aligned, why Pluto's there, Saturn's here. But we get dumbed down with somebody down here is playing a game of calendars. And when we do that, that's how we anchor ourselves here. It's a Georgian calendar. No, it's a trap. It's a luminary. It can be perceived as a trap, yeah, or a learning lesson, whatever it may be. This could be the jail sentence here or the classroom. Again, it all depends on each person's perception. I don't think one fits all.
I'm not sure if it is a place of learning, but maybe you're right. Who knows?
It's just a possibility at that point, Patrick.
Because if my assessment is correct, and we are echoes of our former actual selves that actually lived these lives, then we're just repeating or reliving the same lives that we've already lived. And that would also explain deja vu and would explain many things, right? And would explain reincarnation, but not the way we think it is, that we probably just reincarnate into ourselves again over and over and over and over and over and over again to like for eternity.
Or we're living beings jumping from form to form. And then if all of a sudden they start at a different age, they start making, like we'll say, transhumanism.
I have to disagree. I have to disagree. I would doubt that we come back as something else than you.
Energy can't be destroyed or created, so we can take on different corporeal forms.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
think?
You could take on different corporeal forms. That's what shape-shifting is. You're being light photon energies. You've been the light spectrum, so you can't take on different corporeal forms because energy can be transferred into anything.
Because we're like our essence or our consciousness is actually pure energy, but that doesn't mean that your consciousness and awareness goes on after your death. The energy might just go on, but not the consciousness and awareness of your beingness.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I call it soul data. Whatever you perform here stays here. This is why it's called the mind, taking all that information. I don't own English. I don't own Sanskrit. I don't own Mandarin. It's for me to experience or observe. But for most people, they think when they die, they're going to have a recollection. I said, no, some other entity or energy can actually portray that. No different when we have air or wind. We don't see it. Well, most of us don't. Some people might have that ability, but you don't see it. It's like we don't see the language that we speak. We don't see it. The senses are very limited. Once you wake up, you're in the conscious state. In that conscious state now, you can do things like prayer, inquiry. You can do peace, shut down, get that conscious mind to allow something else that's running it. And this is why they have concept of meditation. Listen. You got to listen inwards. What we do with each other is we hear each other. Unfortunately, people bastardize those words. And of course, because we have meaning behind it. And when you have meaning behind a language, in this case, the English language, we follow the energy that's everywhere else. This is why we don't have to learn all the language. We just have to be around each other. Then you start downloading that information from body to body. It's like a virus at that point.
Right. OTW mentioned reincarnation, man. I don't want to incarnate into another physical vessel ever again, man. I feel like I can feel it in my soul. It's my last incarnation, man. I can't come back down here. I can't come back down here and do this shit all over again, man.
Listen to Lilith. She even said she didn't want to be in the flesh either.
Nah, man. You gotta think higher beings and higher dimensions, they don't want anything to do with the physical. I can just feel it. I can feel it in my essence, man. My soul. This is my last incarnation, man. And a lot of beings come down here. I had mentioned this to somebody not too long ago. They only live 10, 20 years. Like, man, that person died quick because they might have came down here just to do a mission, just to get a message across, and they out of here. Because anybody can go to the dark side of the moon, like I said before, and get a costume, a human avatar, and come down to this motherfucker and become an embryo and then become a baby, just crying and kicking and screaming. But I'm saying I can just feel it. This is my last incarnation. I don't want to do this again.
And where do you get that that feeling from? Where like let's say that your discernment comes from somewhere. Your knowledge of what you believe is true comes from somewhere. So this is what I'm wondering is like, why do you think that could be a reality or a possibility? Because it sounds a little bit like fantastic to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it sounds a little bit like Tooth Fairy-ish.
Well, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it do sound cartoonish and outlandish, but it comes from within. Once you know that self, it comes from your higher self. Yeah, it's your intuition, man. Your higher self only gonna tell you. It's not gonna never tell you nothing wrong. So I go within most of the time. I'm my own teacher. I don't have too many teachers. I don't like. There's only a few people I even like entertain and listen to, but I'm my own everything. But but I feel what you're saying though. It sounds like cartoonish, but this is a spiritual warfare. It's a spiritual war. So when we mention energies and like we say somebody has a superpower, that sounds outlandish and cartoonish, right? But that's an actual fact. We have superpowers. Having discernment alone is a superpower.
So
we do all this stuff every day. Everything that Jesus Christ character did with mysticism, we do it every day.
Wait, he did say you will do greater works than I. I'm badly paraphrasing that, but anyway.
So what about if people reading the luminaries and with certain things like Pluto going into Aquarius and it's going to be the age of air, it indicates that it's the end of humans. So when somebody says, this is my last time, I say, yeah, that's a default mechanism because you're going to come back and there's many forms that are going to be coming on. And we've been slowly adapting to it. All this technology is actually permitting it. It's an easy sell on humans, especially when you turn around and say, do you want to not...
man, that I exist on dimensions beyond this plane. But I quantum jump all the time. I go to different realities all the time. So I know I exist out, like, other than this 3D reality. This is nothing to me. I'm just down here playing a game of this Matrix. I'm just down here playing a game. This is it. This is nothing to me. This is a step down for me because I exist in higher dimensions.
You know what? I'm listening to you, and what it tells me is, God, I wish he's right. You know, it's like, it's like, I want to believe that's true. You know.
I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, you know. But I overstand it. I understand it. You know, this is metaphysics, man. They don't teach metaphysics coming up through the school indoctrination, these school indoctrination camps, man.
Well, they fucking don't. They just teach you how to be a good slave. That's all they do. I mean, public school is literally there to teach people to be good slaves and do slave jobs.
Right. This Matrix ain't shit to me, man. This is a 3D reality. I'm down here in a human costume. I'm a light being, man.
Okay, so knowing that,
I'm a light being down here playing I'm a soul being, man. Non-ether being, man. And I'm down here in a Matrix in a 3D, in a human, like I said, in a human costume doing this dumb shit. I gotta go take a shit, take a piss. This is all bullshit. This ain't nothing.
Yeah, you know what? Often I've sat on the throne and I'm thinking to myself, what type of fucking reality is this that I have to waste time on a toilet bowl, smelling the terrible scent that comes out of my ass. And it's just like, no, man, I don't get it. It's like a really bad joke. You know what I mean? It's like if I was a god and I wanted to, have a good laugh, I think I'd make a human or something, a creature that would probably shit stuff that stinks. And I just didn't find a logic in the pissing and shitting thing.
Right. We didn't always have stomachs and mouths. At one point in time, when we were luminous beings, we ate energy. We didn't have mouths. We didn't have stomachs.
Well, hey, wait a minute. You're making me think about there is a guy in Turkey, which one of my friends it's like my old boss, a guy that I used to work with. He had a friend in Turkey, or he knew about someone in Turkey who actually lives off of the air. Like he doesn't drink any water and he doesn't eat.
That's true. You can now. But we've been programmed to thinking we got to eat 3 times a day. You got to break your fast, break fast.
Right.
You can eat energy. You can eat the sun. You can just water fast and drink water and you be good. It's just we've been programmed to thinking we got to be gluttons. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. At one point in time,
right. The reason why we all wear running shoes and things to protect our feet, but it was in the guise of protecting your feet, but actually it's not really that. It was to disconnect you from grounding to the source, because I believe that I see it in my own animals. I mean, I see my dog when he goes outside, he spins around in a circle and then he lays down on the ground, and I know for a fact that he knows that he's grounding, that he's connecting himself to the soil and the earth and the trees, and so I believe that they probably have invented the shoes and whatever to disconnect us from the earth and having
those gym shoes. They have rubbers in them. So your shoes have rubber in it, and it disconnects you because we energy beings. So your bottom of your soul, we soul beings. Soul of your feet. That's why they put the soul on the birth contract, on the birth certificate.
Right. Yeah, you hungry? Nah, I ate some sun earlier.
Mm-hmm. So what's being grounded?
Thank you. I'm a breatharian.
What's being grounded?
Say what?
What's being grounded?
Your electrical current.
Okay. Because, there's many beings there. Is it an earth being, a water being, a spiritual being, an air being? Even though it's the
I'm a
same
water
idea.
bug.
Okay, good enough. That's why I said there's earthbound beings here. The reason why we have different blood types, and that's what they're doing. So now we're coming to the age of air. So a lot of people that are earthbound beings better be grounding a lot more. Why? Because this is all about technology.
Yeah, man.
And that's why. Go ahead.
Someone saw me hugging a tree, man. They thought I was tripping. They saw somebody see me out there barefoot. They started laughing at me. It's like, nah, shit, I'm organic. I'm organic to this planet. Fuck the land. Let alone the land. I'm organic to the planet.
Dude, you're literally a freaking antenna for this planet. You're literally a Wi-Fi cordless fucking receptor for this planet, and you accumulate energy, and it's all transmittable. So I do believe that at a certain point, when you've accumulated enough of that static energy, you need to ground yourself so it'll leave your body.
Yeah, that plays a role. Again, we're three-dimensional beings. We got to consider the emotional, mental planes of it too. So now a lot of us forgot, the reason why there is classification of days and there's different colors for types of foods, whether you want to fuel your vessel or your emotional and mental diets. Most people just get caught up in the physical. So now at that point, they've been anchored here. This is why it's an easy sell when it comes to transhumanism and metaphysical. It's the same terminology. It's beyond the physical experience. Most people are no longer understanding the first 7 years. You really have to develop that physical. You have to understand about how to wean that being inside of that physical. A lot of people are consciously. Go ahead.
No, but I was agreeing with you because it's about being able to navigate this machine that we travel in, right? Okay, so I believe that once you're actually aware that you're not the flesh, that you're actually something else that's inside navigating the flesh, but you also have to understand that the flesh is its own being. Yes, right, so it has its own desires. It's like it's completely, maybe even the opposite of who you actually are in essence, like a soul or whatever. And I believe that's where the yin yang comes in, right? Where the body would be the yang and the soul or the spirit would be the yin.
We're beings, and again, if people play with the idea that they're the vessel of the thoughts, then they can play all that pen to paper shit. So in this case, when a person talks about birth certificate, that means they're already indoctrinated because they're too busy thinking, oh, I'm not the birth certificate. I said, okay, but are you the thoughts? We're receiving information. It's download, hence download. And some people can actually upload. Again, thoughts. If we're the thoughts, then we should all be able to speak all different types of language. But we don't. So that's been entrained on us. This is why when people start talking about commerce, court, and all that, that's fucking wasted energy. That's more angering of this shit. That doesn't help the betterment of humanity as a whole, let alone the beings that reside within it. I'm a being having human experience, or I can be observing it. We observe way more than we experience. How I know that is because once you start speaking, sequoia tree, redwood tree, those are all experiences with thoughts. That's why thoughts are things. You should be able to question things from within, hence silence. When people start speaking, that's afterthoughts. And when people start writing shit, the shit that the written work does to the fucking upper brain is fucking pathetic to no end. Whether left to right, right to left, scroll form, book form. And the people that parrot that shit are fucking scribes and scholars. They're not intuitive. They're not using
There's the wheel of time right there.
Sure.
What, Dom?
It's the wheel of time. There's many names for what we're looking at right now. It's like the wheel of time, the Fibonacci sequence, the spiral of life. That's the pagans that would call it the spiral of life.
It's the reason why they don't have the number 4 in the Fibonacci sequence, because that's actually the energy of time.
Hence 1111.
Yeah, it's something inside subconsciously. We're going to use the subconscious. It's trying to communicate with that ignorant part called the conscious mind. Once you wake up in the morning, you're now in the conscious mind, and you're getting misled more times than not with your senses. That's why when you hear people say shit, it's nonsense. It's no sense. It's beyond the senses. The senses could easily be misled. Who is the eye of the beholder? Go ahead,
so that would relate directly to, that would correlate directly to one of the stories in scripture where Jesus meets up with this woman and she has 5 husbands, but that oh man, I wish I could remember that part of the scripture by heart. But in other words, what he's explaining to her is like he's talking to her about her 5 senses, and she's not literally talking about having 5 husbands or not, and saying to her, in other words, that you have to, detach yourself from those 5 senses to be able to have that spiritual awareness, because those 5 senses are actually deceiving you. They're like the trickster. They're deceiving you. Your bodily functions, or the bodily desires, are the fucking things that are actually driving you without even knowing it, right? And these things that you actually discover through fasting. And that's why they make you fucking break your fast when you wake up, because they don't want you to be, have the spiritual experience. And a lot of people get that spiritual experience through fasting, right?
Thanks for breaking that down, by the way, Patrick. Yeah, that information's there. Literally, the word gives it away, information. Again, same with the word understand. The tree of life, wisdom, and understanding. Knowledge is just a child. You don't see that located in the tree of life. But again, that's good and evil spiritual material. Again, it's a language that we try to speak with the spoken version of it, or the written version. It's always going to be the photocopy version. And once people start becoming aware of it, because, it is an age of information. So you should at least be able to get some knowledge. And hopefully some people, when the time comes, they can actually use discernment, wisdom to it. Hence the many whys. Why am I here? It's easy to tell somebody, okay, I don't want to be here anymore. The question would be more, why are you here? Or they say shit like, I know the truth. Well, therefore you must know the deception. This is why some of the people of old, they would be called the witness, the observer of things.
You said, hey, Dom, you said, while we're here to be damn slaves, man. Energy, to be sucked dry by energy. This is a slave realm, man. This is
right. But you know what?
People get a misconception. I have a purpose here, man. You ain't got no damn purpose, because this really don't count. You just here to be a goddamn slave. This is a slave realm.
It is an anchoring realm, and if you understand magnetic, yes, it's going to anchor you here.
They got us paying bills on a free planet, man. We down here slaving to exist on that means we have no purpose. Just to be sucked dry energy. People don't want to come to the conclusion, I have a purpose to do this. Nah, this is a slave realm, man. That's been hijacked.
Well, maybe it was designed that way.
But you know what? Now it's like, I don't know why, but for some reason my brain is trying to bring this full circle back to the number 9. And remember that I was explaining the drop in the middle of the pond that would make rings, right? And maybe that would actually be correlated to the 9 rings, like the Lord of the Rings, right? The 9 rings. I'm thinking, yeah, or the 9 reincarnations, because our friend here earlier was saying that he believes he's in his last incarnation, which would probably make sense if the number 9 is as important as we think it is, and the fact that we are 9 months in the womb, it all kind of like makes sense, right? So we would come back here 9 times, or we would relive this life, not 9 echoes till the last ring. Okay, that's where you become spiritually aware. And consciousness, you're actually conscious of your being, like who you really are in the essence. Then probably everything comes right back to the beginning again, because every end has its beginning. So it just loops.
They love the number 9, man. 99 cent this, number 9 this, because it has divinity, man. It's 9 planets in this star constellation, not star constellation. There's 9 planets in this galaxy. I mean, number 9, the 9 to the 9th power. I have 9 Ethereum genetics inside of my genetic makeup. Me and my little bro was having a conversation about this the other day, about us being 9 ether beings. Because we the number of completion. We the original. We the original creation.
So begs the question. What the hell were we created for?
So we the original. I don't keep saying. I have to keep and break this down all the time. I don't want people going to the color thing. We was the first ones here. The originals. I have nine ether genetics. Straight from the cosmos, man.
Well, if you talk about the concept of numbers in this way related to stories called the Bible or Quran, they talk about, the gods created things in their image, hence the term man. Those things up in the skies probably are images. And then on the 8th, they rested on the 7th day. On the 8th day, they started making forms. And on the 9th day, they started playing, hence giving up the ghosts, the spiritual meeting the material. So how about us gods just keep going in and out of different forms, just for pure giggles and kicks? But again, some people will get distraught. Go ahead.
Dude, I just, by looking at this fucking diagram, I just realized that they created the game Snakes and Ladders, and the game is literally talking about the Kundalini rising. Think about it. The Jacob's ladder and the snakes are the two strands of DNA, or the two spinal cords that are descending your spinal column. Snakes and ladders, guys.
And that goes back to what I was saying. Like, I don't have DNA. I have DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. I don't have DNA. Humans have DNA. I don't have DNA.
We were created to be slaves. All the religion is made up to control the people, because if they knew we were created in a lab, all hell would break loose. So they had to figure.
I don't have DNA. I have DNA. It was Homo sapiens at first, and the human race was created to be a slave race.
That's just
well, that sucks. That pretty much sucks, guys.
My opinion.
That's a really bad story for the human. For this, I don't know, man. It's like, fuck, man. What a really terrible story.
Just think about what we do every day. Just think about what we do every day right now in our everyday life. Our lives are meaningless, man. We do the same thing, rebuttal every day. Work, sleep, eat shit. Work, sleep, eat shit. That's what the book of Genesis is about. The book of Genesis was the beginning of a slave matrix. Night and day. What do most people do at night? They sleep. What do most people do in the day? They work. It's a slave matrix.
So is this where the possibility, the human, the beast, is the mortal form, and this is where we get the concept of morality based on the mortal form. Are we actually the immortals at that point, existing within the mortal form? Hence where you're going about the idea of maybe being a slave. But then again, it's kind of like chips. They're able. Go ahead.
And they demonized us because we the original. Like I said, we the original creation. 6 neutrons, 6 protons, 6 neurons. We the original creation, but they start calling us beasts. We not beasts. Well, it's because what's 6 upside down is 9.
Well, if you have two species splicing together, hence the fallen ones splicing with the human ones, then it's called the abominations. It's the offsprings that don't have a place anymore.
But he's making a point, though. He's making a point there.
Also, we can't be that much different if so-called black and so-called white can come together and make babies.
But a melanated woman, a carbonated woman, she can make any type of baby can come from her. A blonde hair, blue-eyed baby can come from her. Look it up, bro. Any type of baby can come from a carbonated woman. We can make any type of baby. We don't have it. That's one of the biggest lies they told us. Yeah, we can come. They say we got the same genetics. We all one. No, we have different genetics. We're not the same. We might be the same in spiritual terms, but when it comes on the physical level, no, we're not the same. We got different genetics. Somebody asked me one day, why do carbonated people run faster and jump higher? When we have a different genetic molecular, what's it called?
Makeup. Genetic makeup.
We got a different genetic makeup.
At the end of the day,
the same.
No disrespect.
These are facts, man.
When they're oppressing and slaughtering people, religion, race, genetics, your favorite baseball team, none of that matters.
No, I don't want them. I don't want them to keep. I don't want them to keep lying and saying we all the same. We not. We don't. We have different genetics. We not the same, man. That's
Oh
what it's.
yeah, I know that.
We all came from the same place.
No, I don't. No, we don't. That's a lie.
I came from my mama's Virginia. I popped out like
I spent 9 months inside of her, but I come from the ether. Like I said, as above, so below. I come from the ether, man.
The equinox.
Huh?
I like when Truth Zone.
Think about it. Just think about it, bro. If we was the same,
I know a lot about what you speak on Truth Zone. A lot of 5%ers, their science, they speak on a lot of that stuff, and I respect it, man. You know, I'm not in any position to tell any so-called black man who they are, where they're from. It used to kill me in high school when I took what was it called? African American history, and a white teacher was teaching it. And
they trying to tell us who we are, but then once we try to go find out who we really are, it's a problem. That's what it is.
I don't even know what a Caucasian is. If somebody calls me a Caucasian, that's highly offensive.
They call them Caucasians because we allegedly came from the Caucasus Mountains.
But some of y'all didn't come from the
Caucasus. Bullshit.
That's a lie.
We all came from the center.
Charles, a lot of y'all didn't come from there, bro.
From the center. That's where we all came from. Every animal, every tree, all the continents, they all came from the center.
I think we're all different, but we have similarities. An important thing is, like I said, when the government's fucking us over, they don't give a shit about none of that. We're all being fucked over equally. I could put all that to the side and work with people. I've learned a lot coming on the live stream and speaking to different people.
Thanks.
Some people.
No, hey Charles, for me, bro, it's just an assault on my intelligence, man. This whole system, I got built up anger towards this shit. It's me just being lied to. They told me I come from a cave. They told me that I evolved from a monkey. I've been called monkey when I was little. It's just this whole system. This is real shit. I'm telling you, bro. And then so I gotta go do the research. I gotta go unprogram myself from all that bullshit we learned that they try to teach us and tell us who we were, and I gotta go seek truth, seek knowledge, understanding on who I am. Because let the system tell it, let them tell it. Think about it like this: when we were younger, what was propagated and
was
what
the research looking at books? Was the research looking at books?
No, bro. I didn't take on to their curriculum. I dropped out. I dropped out my senior year, bro. I never did good in school because I knew
what was the alternative research? What was your alternative research? What you're looking at?
You talking about like me finding out who I am?
Yeah, I mean, like I heard you mention like Caucasians. Like, where did you get that information? Is that alternative information from what you were taught?
I didn't mention Caucasian. When did I say that?
Oh, on the other stream when you were on.
These are all titles, man. Those are all labels.
Yeah.
But what do you call yourself? Do you consider yourself a Caucasian, a white guy? What do you call yourself?
I don't know, man.
Then why are you asking me that question? What do you call yourself?
I don't know, human, a man. I call myself a man.
Right. I'm saying when you go fill out a job application, what do you put? What box do you check?
None.
When you fill out a job application, what box do you check?
One time I put black, and they called me in for an interview.
I don't fill out job applications.
All right, man. Huh? You said they called you in for an interview?
Yeah.
Now, you gotta think, man. My great grandmother got treated like fucking shit by this damn nation, man. We couldn't drink it from the same water fountain. We've been treated like shit on our own land. So I'm mad, man. I'm pissed.
Getting treated like shit in my own home by foreigners surrounding me right now.
We got fucking white supremacy pumped down our throats at a young age. They giving us this white Jesus Christ, white Santa Claus, white superheroes. They whitewashed every goddamn thing. So we trying to get our identity back. It's a birthright, man.
My opinion, a lot of things used to bother me too, but I'm just speaking for me. I've learned to let go of a lot of the system puts a lot of that shit in place to do exactly what it's doing, to create anger, and which will create division and more or less chaos within yourself. A lot of this shit, they know what they're doing. It creates psychological war within yourself. Forget about the division between people. It's more about within you. And that's why they use a lot of that shit, because they know, it'll separate like you from who you truly are. That's the main reason.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you, bro.
You got all the answers, bro. You still have your grandma, right? And your mom and your pops.
No, my grandmother, she passed back in 2017.
Damn.
My dad, my mom, they still around. The older generation, they instilled all this stuff to me. When I would go to Mississippi, bro, when I was a kid, man, I'm not gonna lie. My granddad, he dealt with racism. He wouldn't allow me and my twin brother to even go associate with white people just because the hate that he had. The hate that he had for white people, he wouldn't let us associate. I could never understand that. Like, man, why can't we go hang with him? I want to go hang with him. And he told me
I think that situation is a temporary thing in history. I think 300 years ago, it wasn't like that at all. This history about slavery and that is bullshit.
Man, look, my granddad
created that on purpose.
They had so much hate for my people, bro. My granddad told me when they was walking home from school back in the 1940s and 30s, white kids would ride by on the school bus and spit on them, man. And they did the same shit to me this was back in 2005. They would ride by and they damn pickup.
Them children, they grew up around pieces of shit parents that were racist. And like I said, them type of pieces of shit fucking make a bad name for all the good people.
I'm in Canada and the country is racist.
Yeah, look at Trudeau.
Look, they racist toward the Aborigines of this land, bro. That's the point I'm trying to make. We the original inhabitants of this damn planet and land. That's just why they hate us so much. We don't have the material. We don't have the money.
I thought you said you came from the ether or something, that you're not on the land, from the land.
I just said
we all come from the same earth.
Okay. Can I show something, guys? Because I heard earlier we're talking about,
everything our body's made of comes from the earth. Everybody.
Man, all I know, hold on, Dom. I just want to end it with this. Man. Go ahead, Dom. I just want to say we could do more working together than all this division that was created by the generations before us. All this race. What race are we? What are we trying to win? What race is this? Who's gonna win? That's why they call it a race. It's a race that no one's ever gonna win.
If I can share, Charles, because I heard earlier people talking about the, last time around with the physical. We're in three dimensionals. So where people get caught up and anchored still is in their emotional and mental diets. So when a person realizes on the mental state, oh, I'm not neither a master or a slave. I said, yes, you never have been. Emotionally, when you start getting caught up in your anger, you're snorting your happiness cocaine. Again, that's more anchoring. Once you realize who you truly are, you're going to look at the physical completely different. You're going to have discernment and say, oh, so these people are still playing that they think they're the color of their skin, and they're not even classifying it correctly. Black and white's for magic. How do I hold up a black phone and put it towards my friend who's Jamaican? Those are two different shades. Can we be different shades in the vessel? Yes, we can at any given moment. But when people forget that the other two dimensions are ruling over you, which is the emotions, energy, emotion, this is where anger, happiness, sadness plays. And then there's the mental part. Like, well, I'm a slave. I said, you got conditioned the same way. That guy over there got conditioned to be a master. It's the same perpetual game. And as long as you play that game fucking consciously ignorant, you're anchored here. Bitching, complaining about governments when it's actually human beings behind it, or religion where it's human beings behind it. Our forefathers, most of them were fucking still consciously ignorant. Be better. Become aware. Outside of that, we're playing this moronic game. It is moronic because we're in a mortal form. That's already been stamped. That's why we use the word, you're going to move on. Pass on.
Dom, do you think the controllers of this world are human? Because I don't.
No. It's beyond the human capacity.
I don't think the slave masters, the ultimate slave masters, are human. They can't be. They're way more intelligent. They know way more than any human can ever know. And they're the ones who are whispering in the ears of the so-called human controllers that are presented to us.
I'm with you. And that's why when people start playing that they're a slave, but they only limit it to the physical, I said there's many levels to this. So the emotional you could be enslaved to. Same with the mental part. The concept of anytime you hear the word free in anything, run from it. Free will, freedom of speech, run from it. Same with the word secret. It's ignorant. They just didn't want to have to tell the human race or the species, you're an ignorant fucking bunch. You don't create anything. You don't create the alchemy of language. Now, the being part could be that. But then we could be enslaved in that variation. This is why when we come here, we're indebted already. We like our bling bling. If you don't, then go fucking take your chance with nature. That's another bling bling. That's something else that created that. Outside of that, it's a bunch of people that are disobedient, not understanding the rulers. At least get to know them. Understand what satanic is. Understand what a god is, because most people are serving the self, which is fine. But the self to me is just the program. That's like me talking to Series. That's not that important in that equation. Or bitching, complaining about the computer that it's in. Again, when people start bitching, complaining about the color of your skin or your gender, you already are fucking indoctrinated. You're asleep to no fucking end. It's called The Walking Dead. Now, that might be a challenge, but you should be challenging yourself, not me. I'm not important in that equation. I'm not the one that created this fucking language. But I'm using it.
Everybody's thinking right now.
Hey, Chuck, what do you think about that idea of all the lands being birthed out from the center? It kind of looks like that, like and then they grow outwards and maybe split apart. Some of them kind of run into each other. Some of them split apart.
Everything starts from the center point outward.
Yeah,
even when you're having sex and you create life.
All the different animals on the different lands.
Where's the penis and vagina at the center?
They came out from the center.
Yeah, the ripple effect. That's a strong possibility.
Like if the Earth is alive and it's growing and it's living, it does make sense. Like, and there'd be new lands being born right now in the center and underneath too, right? It's growing.
The ancestors knew, everyone's ancestors that were here knew the truth, but
and it's like it's being stirred. The sun comes up every day and stirs the ether. Everything grows. The sunflower points to the sun and it pans across and it's pointing at the sun.
Yeah. Everything, even the stars it's like it's being stirred. The stars spin.
Like year after year, day after day, it's the same pattern going around and around and around.
Right.
I mean, I go out into the woods, and it's like if I go and walk in a if I go walk in a northeast direction, it's really hard to get through. But if I walk in a northwest direction, it's easy. It's really weird in the land that I have, because that's how it. There's a grain to it. You know what I mean? I don't know if you can understand what I'm saying, that it's easy to walk through the woods in one direction, but it's really tough the other way because things are lined up.
I kind of understand what you're saying. Peace axis, mindful exposures, Kimba, and no or not no. Not no, yes. No.
And I'm just talking about the land and the water, things that I can observe and touch and feel and smell and
That's
taste.
how I see it, though. Face plant. I think, you know, more or less the center. It reminds me of a Tesla coil. A Tesla coil oscillator. What else? The electromagnetic center. What else is keeping the sun and moon in motion and the stars? Like you said, every day is the same repeat. Nothing changes or goes off course. You know, and it's been operating like a created timepiece. You know, like a fucking Rolex. The creator created this masterful timepiece. It's always on time and on point. It works together like an orchestra.
So there must be new lands being born in the North Pole area right now and moving outwards. We're probably moving outwards constantly.
What do you think, Truth Zone? Or anyone?
Yeah, my bad. I had to take a call real quick. You said new lands?
No, I said, what do you
Being
think
born?
about where we are? Like, I think we live on like a Tesla coil. You know, as far as this realm, do you think it was started from the center out, like a ripple effect? Like the North Pole is the center of, you know, like the center of a peach tree dish.
Yeah, you can say that. I think ain't nothing faster than the speed of thought. So I think that like from everything comes from dark matter energy. It comes from the darkness. So whatever created us, like we come from prime source creator. Whatever. It's a hard question to answer, man.
So let's say there's one land being born in the center a long time ago, and another land beside it, and all the animals were created as a population from the start. There was no evolution of species. They started out as a population, the trees and everything. And as those lands grew out and developed, some of the creatures and people from the different lands interacted with each other as the lands continued to spread out and grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, all these lands were once connected at one time. Even the lands outside of the ice wall, everything was one big giant landmass at first. All of it was. Everything was connected.
So yeah, they came out from the same source in the center. This is a kind of, I'm not saying I'm saying it as it's a fact, but I'm just kind of presenting a theory of what I think I'm observing, experiencing. So let's say like the Urbano Monte map has the the 4 lands in the middle. It could be more than 4. You know, those 4 lands might have grew out at the same time, and then another 4 lands come out and pushing everything out. What do you think about that?
I mean, so you say it one more time. You saying like
so
land like
let's say
being
there's
connected?
one land grew out from the center, and it had
Right.
yellow colored people coming out of it, and the other one had brown colored people coming up in it,
That's
and
what you said.
another one had pygmies in it, and another one had giants in it, and they
Right.
grew
That
out.
could
The
be
lands got bigger, and the populations grew, and they started to interact with each other,
right.
and that's
Right.
what we got
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I
So
see what you're saying.
like an oversimplification, but it kind of makes sense if you think about it that way, to me anyway.
Right. Right. That's what you're saying. As far as now, I don't feel like there's a lot of organic humans left here now, because I feel like it's more like NPCs and bots and zombies and clones
We've
running around.
definitely been fucked with.
It's only a
And
small
we're
percentage of real humans here that have real interactions. Like I haven't really had real interactions with real humans, like until I started doing this YouTube. Before that, I was just having community dialogue with just algorithms, man, walking algorithms. That's it.
Yeah, that's the beauty of this kind of, we can talk like this. Like, can you imagine trying to talk to somebody on the street, or let's say one of your friends or family, about this? There's not many people who want to take this seriously.
Yeah, a lot of people on the street will call you a nut. I've been called crazy, man. I've been called a so-called conspiracy theorist. Some people don't even want to deal with me just because I want to have these type of conversations, man. And I just deal with realism, man. It's about dealing with realism.
I'm considered absolutely insane, I'm sure, from by old friends and family, and people that I worked with. Definitely.
Like this Truth Zone. A model similar to this. No, I don't say any of these models are factual because I truthfully don't know. I haven't traveled. I don't know what the firmament is. If there's a firmament, I don't know what the sun and moon are. I can only speculate because I can only, do so much. But I think some of these models are pretty damn close to the truth. Like as far as the sun and moon, the sun and moon reminds me of. Oh, I don't have that picture up. Of course not. Damn it. Oh wait, I have this right here. If the sun and moon had one of these on each side, right? This thing that's giving off the electricity could be the sun, and it'd be another one with the moon that creates the aurora borealis in the center. That's one theory I have, which probably isn't true, but or maybe even the central mountains creating aurora borealis. But yeah, like I said, I think we live in a beautiful timepiece.
We're building a model here right now. We're trying to build a model of what the realm is and how we fit into it, as opposed to the bullshit models like Big Bang Theory and evolution of species and evolution of planets. You know what I mean? Like, this is a lot better than anything that so-called education tells us.
Right. Hey, Charles, let me ask you a question, bro. When you put that up with the moon and the sun, it's like a simulator. Do you think we live inside like an hourglass? Not an hourglass. What's some things you used to shake up back in the day and watch the snow fall inside of them?
That was I know what you mean. Damn.
Snow globe.
Snow
Yeah,
globe.
snow
Thank
globe.
you.
Do you think we live like inside one of those type of constructs, man?
Um.
Well, atmospheric pressure
Maybe.
requires some kind of a container, whether it's electromagnetic or solid material. But there's no atmospheric pressure without a container. Like having a thinner and thinner atmosphere until you hit a vacuum, that's just absolutely crazy.
I think we live on an infinite plane with many, many different experimental, whatever we want to call our place. I think there's many experimental bubbles or craters like ours all
Like
over this infinite realm.
what's supposed to be
Yeah,
happening?
I agree with that,
when
man.
goes into space, it's going up and up and up in thinner and thinner and thinner atmosphere, and then all of a sudden, it's in a vacuum. That's just absolutely crazy.
Everyone say hi to Kimba.
What's up, Kimber? That's that wheel you got. That's that thing. It says the Aries, Pisces, Aquarius, and we headed towards the age of Aquarius. And I do believe that we live on an infinity plane, man. An infinite plane.
Me too.
So much land out there, so many other jurisdictions, man. I'm talking about it's infinite. It doesn't stop. You know, but they got us thinking that we just live on this little small landmass. Now it goes on and on. It's never ending.
Cause look at this, right? If you take this, I wish I could overlay it to this right here. Mount Meru or whatever's at the center, the tree of life. It could be many different things. Is like the battery, like it shows here, and the sun and moon, like Faceplant was saying, it stirs the ether. And the sun and moon, it reminds me of like an umbrella, or what are them rides that you have the horses, a carousel, because only the roof's spinning and the ground is stationary, and it's like creating energy that way, almost like they use water back in the days to turn that wheel and it would create electricity. This place reminds me of like a generator. We could be the holograms. We're in some sort of like machine, man. This shit was created by the so-called gods, or maybe even the taller people. But yeah, something we're not being taught nowhere near of anything of where we are.
Yeah, the infinite plane makes a hell of a lot more sense than an infinite vacuum of space.
Right.
Like what keeps getting drilled into our heads with the start of the TV show Big Bang Theory.
That's funny.
That's repeated over and over and over again. Repeats every day. A day probably on one channel that show is on here.
Some people say, True Zone, we live in the eyeball of the ultimate creator, right? That could be a strong possibility too. I mean, there's a lot of so-called evidence to line up.
So to play on words, we say words like make sense. So what happens when you get taken up in the spirit and then you come back down to the senses? How do you explain it? Especially when you know words, whether spoken or written, is so misinterpreted, let alone even we try to interpret.
I better open a bank account if it makes sense.
Yeah. And what sense are we trying to please? Like, are we touching the unknown? Are we smelling it? You know, it's like trying to people making sense of the word air. And then you try to add cause and effect to it. I said, I don't know where air is. So now we're talking about the effect and side effect. I'm seeing a leaf moving. So I can literally see an object that I've classified as a leaf. Again, this is the limitations of senses. We're ping-ponging senses, and meanwhile, somebody's saying you're on the wrong table. But hey, keep entertaining yourself. We speak our truths, whether we know it or not, or our level of awareness. Doesn't make sense, Dom. Okay, but let's say it does make sense. Or Dom, I don't know. But let's entertain the idea. Let's say you did know. How would you be able to apply discernment to it? Most people think once you have knowledge, you should do something. I say, okay, now we'll go back into the physical. As the observer, do you need to do anything? Hence being taken up in the spirit. People ever so lightly trip over this kind of information when they do some brain altering stuff like ayahuasca, marijuana, or hemp in this case, or they do like alcohol, liquors. But yet you're getting a peak. But can you maintain it long enough, so even the word long enough, that you can actually sit in it and then you can embody it? And when I say body, I'm not just talking about the physical body. You know, can you envision it? And what would you do with it? Hence, how does it serve? Outside of, I'm the kind of character that we're living in a different age. All those books should all fucking be burned. All of them. I don't give a shit if it's fucking Mad magazines. Burn the fucking thing. Because what it does to the hemisphere, especially in the age back then, it served a purpose. In this age, it does fuck all, but just make us fucking bump each other in the dark. Forces you. You know, it's kind of like back in the day, force. Yeah, we're on a ship. We're going to go onto the landmass. We're going to burn the fucking ship. Now you know this is serious. I get it. People are going to go to libraries, fucking download information, some fucking scholarly approach through the hemispheres. How does it serve at that point when you're trying to talk to somebody else that's fucking very intuitive? Or they're aware of things. Oh, Dom, you got to prove it to me. Fuck, I have nothing to fucking prove to you. That's their responsibility, especially when people realize you're the only one that's ever been in that vessel. So who should be responsible for you? Not your wife, not your kids, not your husband, not your parents, fucking you. Whoever you are. Hence, know thyself. That's a baby step, by the way. Know thyself. Who's the knower? Who's the self? Then you can actually trip into things like the observer and the observed. And then you realize you're in an objective realm. And you start labeling everything. That's a tree. That's a house. That's a car. That's a plane. Where do you see the words that you fucking speak? Dare not get to that awareness. You don't have to say shit like I've leveled up. That's another fucking Walking Dead term. This should disturb you guys. You should be doing the revolution from within. Your friend and enemies from within. Again, we're receivers. We have many receivers within us.
Yeah, Dom. I never understood that expression "level up." I don't get it. What is it? What does that mean anyway?
That's just another self-absorbed person thinking they've become aware. It's like when people say, I see outside of the box. You don't got a fucking clue what you're talking about. There's many parts in this box. Because if you're outside of this box, then you're the observer. No different when somebody says, oh, Dom, I'm in the deep end. No, you're not. You're in a fucking shallow end with the rest of us, playing with fucking words. And then people grandstand. I became a doctor. That means fuck all to me. Doctor just means teacher. For who? Physician, heal thyself. Who's the self that you're healing? Are we healing just the physical, the mental, the emotional? Go ahead, Charles.
I was just gonna. You said doctor, right? And that's a problem with America. It's funny you brought that up. I just want to say real quick. I mentioned this morning to someone I was speaking with. I said America sees the label doctor or scientist, and they think because that label is above their name or in front of it, that they know what they're talking about, and that's a problem that we should question everything. And you know, just because something's labeled something, don't mean they know what they're talking about. But go ahead.
I haven't been a doctor for more than 30 years, and I'm better for it.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you question from within, you're going to be a walking antenna. So this way, when you're hearing other people, something inside is saying, no, that guy's full of shit. He just doesn't know it yet. Or, Dom, you're full of shit. You're listening from within. So now when somebody tells me they're a doctor, and I said, I didn't even ask that question. I said, they're grandstanding at that point. They put value, the fact that they went to university for fucking 10 years to get a degree. Did you build the fucking school? No. Did you actually, are you going to create the patients that are going to be sick? No. So get in your fucking lane. You're not that fucking important when it comes to the outside world. You're insignificant, if anything else at that. But that's hard for the fucking ego to take. But it likes to bitch and complain about others. It was never about knowing others. It was about knowing the self, the ongoing program. What is the self? It's easy programmed. Hence the masculine energy. When guys turn around and tell me they're a male, I said, you're full of fucking shit. Just because you got a pee-pee doesn't mean you're a male. And how important is that? Especially when you're denying your masculine and your feminine energy to merge. Again, that's polarity. I'm playing a game with myself. I'm just talking out loud about it. When other people say, well, Dom, I've never got upset with me. Well, then what the fuck have you done? Giving yourself pleasantries, snorting more fucking cocaine of happiness underneath a bridge? And that's what most people do. I do it too. I just choose to play a different role every so often. I am that actor. But then when people get into their pity party, oh, I don't like the way I've been treated. Okay, so how do you treat other people? Well, I don't know. I said, because you're too busy being self-absorbed. That's more left-hand path, by the way, guys, and that's fucking satanic to no end. Nothing bad about it. Just tells you what path you're taking. Dare not be that self-sacrificing person. Now you're doing the right-hand path. Dare not actually merging together and say, I'll give and take. I'll serve as much as I actually want to be served. Now you're doing a middle path, but you can also be the observer of all those paths. People are still doing the same thing in the Adam and Eve shit, pointing fingers. It's their fault. Their fault. Dare not be the serpent. I'm in it for the long game. But none of these humans are doing fuck all to make a big difference yet. So I'm going to entertain myself for a little bit. Here's some popcorn. Maybe I'll take day-old popcorn. If people don't have that internal dialogue, what the fuck are they doing? Using the eye of the beholder, looking outside and saying, they're the cause of my grief. Really? You're the one that's going to McDonald's. You're the one that's going to their grocery stores. You're the one using their fucking mechanical devices. So aren't you becoming more indebted here? Well, I don't like it here. Well, then move from your fucking parents' basement and move to the shed, and maybe we'll give you Wi-Fi. That's another fucking child talking. And when I say that, I'm talking about they're not developed in their emotions. Those childbearing years between 7 and 14. Most of our parents aren't aware of that shit. Most people now aren't even aware of that shit. So there's children raising children. How many books would you need to read on this shit? How many more podcasts are you going to need on this shit? People shouldn't even have to have their monitors on. Why? You should just be hearing the message so you can at least have discernment. I can't have discernment on somebody's face unless I have some other programs running. I don't like people the way they look. Well, that's my issue, not theirs. Anyway, there's a rant gone wasted on me again.
Oh, I'm just witnessing some drama here. A wasp kind of flew at me and I smacked it away. And it landed right in a spider's web, and the spider's going after it now. The spider's about half the size of the wasp's head. Looks like he's got it disabled. Spiders are amazing. Yeah, I like that idea of the firmament being parallel to the plane.
My bad. I gotta jump off here in like 20 minutes. Yeah,
I gotta jump off here in 2 minutes.
Alright. Just make sure it's not near a cliff edge. My fucking ear is pounding. God damn, I forgot how much an earache hurts. Holy fuck. It's like somebody's playing drums on my eardrum. You ever clean your ear out and aggravate the eardrum? Why do they call it the eardrum?
I perforated my eardrum once with a Q-tip.
Yeah,
I had a girl finger my eardrum once. It was weird.
Yeah. I had a girl lick inside my ear. Ew.
Licking's better when they start fingering it, when they really penetrate your ear. It's weird, man.
Did she hit the G spot?
Not sure.
I hate wet willies.
Wet willies. Haha. I got a wet willy.
Like how much? Yeah, that's very intrusive. Somebody putting their saliva into your ear.
Check this screenshot I took. Watch. Hold on.
Yeah, sex is weird, faceplant.
See this? You know what this is supposed to be? They said this is a picture that was taken by a satellite, right? That this is light. This was created by the Big Bang, and they said this is light left over from the beginning, right? This is it looks more like you ever see when people are using like microwaves or some sort of interference. It looks like they got a filter and they took a picture in front of a microwave or something. They said that this is proof of the Big Bang, the light or some shit, man. I mean, these scientists will say anything, man, and people go along with it. Oh, he's a scientist? That's for real. Yeah, he knows what he's talking about. It was on CNN? Oh, it's real. It's real.
Yeah, how much more dumbed down can you get?
I know. Now look at this screenshot. I think this is in Russia. Screw the bear. I mean, it's a beautiful animal. I think it's chilling, eating with them. But look at the watermelon. That's a real fucking watermelon with black seeds. Nice and red. Yeah, real watermelon. Not the crap we get here in America, where there's no seeds, no flavor. The strawberries, same thing. It's like, I'm tired of this shit.
You can't even find oranges with seeds in them, and those seedless oranges, it's like they have no flavor. They're just
tired of
hard and sour and no juice in them or nothing.
It's bullshit. Where is this stuff coming from? That's my question.
Yeah, like,
you know?
Yeah, like what's the use of it? Like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I want to know where it's coming from because I don't think it's even being grown. I think it could be being grown in an underground lab or something. A lot of this stuff just don't make sense, man. Like these strawberries this lady had. She cut them open and it was all white inside, and people are like, "Oh, they were cut, picked ripe," but that makes no sense because the outer part is red as ever. I mean, I've bought watermelon where you cut it open, and it's like mostly white in spots, and you could literally smell something that they're injecting into this stuff. When I eat the watermelon, or the last time and the 4 times before that, I got migraine headaches real bad. Strawberries, watermelon, the orange melon, all that shit was giving me migraines.
Yeah, some
So
people get that from red fruit. It's like whatever gives it the color. Like some women get a headache from red wine, but they don't from white wine. So they eat chocolate to counteract whatever's giving them the headache in the red wine. And yeah, and some guys get migraine headaches from certain fruits too, like trying to think what kind of fruit, like
my grandpa's allergic to kiwi, but I never had any problems with fruit growing up or vegetables. They all taste good. They all had seeds. The last, I would say, the last 15 years, it's been terrible, man. These farmers should be ashamed of themselves, letting the government take control. If government came
yeah.
on my land, I would have shot them right in the fucking face.
And Chuck, when these lands were so-called colonized, like around here, there's certain there's certain trees and weeds that are prominent that I'm sure the controllers brought. Like these weeds are toxic to other beneficial plants. Nothing wants to grow around this shit. And there's pests associated with these elm trees that were brought by the controllers. It's like to take over the land so you can't grow your own food, or it's very difficult for you to grow your own food because you got all these trees and weeds in place that were put there. Wherever you are, there's this certain kind of trees and weeds that I call them controller plants that are used specific to the area where they are. Like I think in the southern states, there's this thing called kudzu vine that they planted all over the place, and it just sits there in the ground and it's dormant until it has an opportunity to grow, and then it just takes over everything and nothing else grows. And now here they fog for mosquitoes, but it kills all the beneficial insects and food for birds. So now there's no food for birds, and there's no good insects that eat the bad insects, and the bad insects thrive after they spray, like aphids and white flies, stuff that fucks up all your plants that you use. Like there used to be all kinds of different ladybugs around here, like little small black ones with white spots, big green ones with black spots, all kinds of different ladybugs. And there's nothing. There's no bees, there's no ladybugs, there's no dragonflies. It's really discouraging. Like it seems like it doesn't matter what I do, some kind of controller shit is shutting me down.
JG said reality is under assault. Verbal confusion reigns. Truth and illusion have merged. Mental chaos makes it hard to fathom what is happening. Yeah, anyway, we feel trapped in a hall of mirrors. Exposed lies are answered with other lies. Yeah, I can't say it. Desensitization. Anyway, the rational is countered with the irrational. Cognitive dissonance prevails. We endure a disquieting shame and even guilt. Tens of millions of Americans, especially women, undocumented workers, Muslims and African Americans, Mars Americans, Plutonian Americans, no, suffer the acute anxiety of being pure, pursued by a predator. Oh, of being pursued by a predator. All this is by design.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Sure.
Demagogues always infect the governed with their own pussy. Oh, psychosis. My bad. I thought that was abbreviation for PUSSY. Oops. I made a mistake. I'm gonna jump off of here at 3:33:33. I gotta go cook me some fizzle food. Mental abuse. Nobody should take mental abuse. You know, my favorite quote by Mike Tyson is everyone has something to say until they get punched in the mouth. Then they'll second think it. I just got punched in the mouth.
And he mean it's an equilibrium.
Yeah, what's up with that? Mike Tyson, he must have been on roids. Not hemorrhoids, steroids. Because his voice used to be like, yo, son, I'll knock you out. And then all of a sudden it went away. That was some of the feminine, damn. What is that shit called? They put in meat and stuff. Estrogen.
Apparently he when he was a kid, and they grabbed him to take up boxing. Like he was raped by his trainer, right?
He used to hide in the sheetrock. That story.
That gave him the rage they needed him to have to be the fighter he was.
Yeah, that's fucked up, right? Isn't it crazy? A lot of them have the similar story.
Yeah, and even politicians apparently. I don't know if you've ever listened to Sheep Farm, but even all of the politicians, they were traumatized as children to be groomed to do the job that they're doing now, like Boris Johnson and all
crazy. It's wild.
If they weren't traumatized and groomed, they wouldn't be able to do the job that they were born to do.
Think so? What does being groomed have to do with it? Like you mean pimping them out?
Well, just like psychologically, you know, shaping their minds to do the job, you know, to make them grow up to be the person to be the politician to do the job that they need them to do.
In other words, train you.
Yeah. And that they were actually born, they have the proper DNA or whatever, the proper heritage, genetic heritage, that they know they can shape them into this role or that role. They're bred and born and trained and groomed to do exactly what they're doing. All of them, the politicians, musicians, writers. Like, look in the eyes of some of these rappers or anybody. They're fucked up, man. They look so sad. They look like they've been traumatized when you look at their eyes.
Dominic, I just want to say it's very strange. You got an avatar of cats that look just like mine. Exactly like mine, only I have one less black cat. So I'm looking at this picture and I'm like, are those my cats? But they're not.
What's your avatar, Kimba?
Of the sky, the clouds, and the sun behind it.
Oh, it's a picture, photo.
Yeah.
Or a screenshot out of one of your vids.
A picture that actually took of the sky. You know, just outside with my phone, random. Clink, there's a pic.
Oh, there's the cops. Wonder what they're trolling around here for now.
Yeah, we have Hurricane Debbie coming through here since, I don't know, like yesterday morning. And it literally has not stopped raining. I have never seen so much rain in my life. And last night it was pounding on our windows real loud. And I was sitting here like, oh my. I'm sitting here, you know, going overboard with my thoughts. Like, what if something just smashes through my window? You know, our power's been out 4 times already. And it's just still coming, coming, and coming. And it just won't stop. It's crazy.
That weather system is a weapon.
Yeah. Well, from the information I see and, you know, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you know, I'm in Florida. We have hurricanes and tornadoes here all the time. I'm used to this. We've had it all along. But
You cut out.
Why not put that in regular chat JD for others to see? Oh, now she's fucking up my name deliberately. People play too much. Human beings have become just fucking trolls. Fucking liberals just trying to gain power over everybody. Think they can gain power over everything, but they're a pawn, they're a cog in the wheel.
Throw a spanner in the works.
Well, I
You ever
found a
hear that?
skateboard a couple days ago.
You ever hear that song, "Industrial Disease"?
Yeah.
How come Jesus gets industrial disease?
I'm tired of hearing about Jesus, man. All these fucking assholes really believe Santa Claus is real.
Damn, I passed my time. Who jumped off?
Truth Zone.
Oh
And
yeah, let
Dom.
me see.
Oh no, is Dom still there? Oh yeah, Dom's
Yeah.
still there.
So True Zone jumped off
Kimba.
and Kimba. Thank you, Kimba and True Zone, for coming up. I appreciate. Who else came up? I think that's it. That left. Yeah. True Zone and Kimba. Could be forgetting someone, but oh, OTW too. Thank you, Dom, and Faceplant, and JG. I know you came up at the last minute, JG. Peace to everyone in the chat too. Once the rainwater gets onto your skin, it propagates itself and creates a biofilm. Huh. That's why when it rains out, I feel like there's like this film over my skin when I'm in the rain. When it dries up, it's like this slimy film. It's crazy. When I go to wash my hands, I wash my arms too, and it's like this slimy film. I don't put lotion or I don't use no bars of soap like that, so I stay away
I
from
noticed
soap
that
that
the other
leave
day too, Chuck.
yeah, right?
So the tap
Nasty.
water has some kind of fucking shit in it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I
That
want to
leaves some
find a
kind of
way
a
to test
slime.
our water. I need to find a way to test chemicals in water. I want to do my own experiments, you know. I'm tired of going by what the internet says. I want to do it myself.
Sometimes I almost don't want to know.
Huh?
You know, if I don't know, then maybe my body will reject whatever's wrong about it naturally. But if I know about it, then I'm gonna start getting anxious and
Do any traveling lately, JG?
Been working last couple weeks.
Nice.
Stuck in Missoula, but I'm getting out of here.
I found this picture, faceplant. Look at this shit. Somebody added the seat up at the top because Polaris, they say, is God's throne or zenith, whatever people want to call it. That would be our third eye. That's equivalent to the third eye. And then the dark and light is the left and right side of the brain. Anyway. Man, why didn't the other one fucking load? Getting sick and tired of this StreamYard. Get your shit together, man. The fuck I pay these people for?
Yeah, our brain is split, but we should try to keep our mind together. If our mind is split, I think that's trouble.
Yeah. That's the beginning in school when they split the brain and said there's two sides. And I used to argue with that because the brain is one whole piece. But school's right and Chuck is wrong, so. But yeah, let me jump off of here, man. I gotta go do some stuff.
Okay, thanks, Chuck. Thanks, everybody. It's good talking to y'all again.
It's 12 o'clock. Thank you, Faceplant. Thank you, Dom. Thank you, JG, Kimba. I almost said Simple Truth, man. What the fuck? Truth Zone Productions, OTW. Lucid. He came up. I almost forgot Lucid. Am I forgetting anyone, Kimba? Dude, what the hell? Says he don't listen to any healing frequencies they offer on any platform. Yeah, I agree. You don't know if those frequencies are on point and they truly are what they say they are. People use these sleeping apps, man. I think that's a little crazy.
Yeah, I just work hard and sleep. I try to sleep well.
Right.
Just try to do a low hum when you go to sleep. Try to hit
like
the
a
right.
cat.
Do your
Like a
healing
cat, right?
frequency. It works.
You know, like cats. You ever notice how cats purr when they're nervous? But yeah, let me jump off here, man. Peace to everyone. Hope you have a great day, and I'm out. Ding, 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 ding. Peace out.